of authentic information for this dispensation and dispensations to come. Join the team of panelists Mondays through Saturdays, 8 p.m. locally, 4 Eastern Time, and other timings across the world. Tune into our radio services, Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1, and Super 95.5. We can also be reached on social media through Facebook or YouTube on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV Live. Locally tune in to Super TV Channel 10. Spoon Talk, Spoon Talk, Spoon Talk, setting Liberia's agenda for national growth. Yes, I special with the CEOs gathering with the strong. And your boy, right in the government. Charges on the people. On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be kind of session. Spoon, spoon, spoon elevation. Spoon, spoon, spoon regulation. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to the small, don't just be well. Let the children cry for salvation, just to the small. You want to get a news update, right to the small. You want to know what is happening in Morocco, don't just small. Politicians want to make their decision, just to the small. You want to know what happening in the ministry, don't just small. Super 95.5. We can also be reached on social media through Facebook or YouTube on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV Live. Locally tune in to Super TV Channel 10. Spoon Talk, Spoon Talk, Spoon Talk, setting Liberia's agenda for national growth. When the ordinary Liberians, home and abroad, are seeking a platform to make a clarion call to their leaders for a hygienic political, social, and economical landscape in the motherland, there is one platform that is authentic, they always count on. Spoon Talk, the beacon of hope, the fountain of authentic information for this dispensation and dispensations to come. Join the team of panelists Mondays through Saturdays, 8 p.m. locally, 4 Eastern Time, and other timings across the world. Tune into our radio services, Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1, and Super 95.5. We can also be reached on social media through Facebook or YouTube on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV Live. Locally tune in to Super TV Channel 10. Spoon Talk, Spoon Talk, Spoon Talk, setting Liberia's agenda. Liberia's agenda for national growth. Yes, I special with the CEOs gathering with the strong. And your boy, right in the government. Charges on the people. On the spoon to get your information. Join the team of panelists Mondays through Saturdays, 8 p.m. locally, 4 Eastern Time, and other timings across the world. Tune into our radio services, Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1, and Super 95.5. We can also be reached on social media through Facebook or YouTube on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV Live. Locally tune in to Super TV Channel 10. Spoon Talk, Spoon Talk, Spoon Talk, setting Liberia's agenda for national growth. When the ordinary Liberians, home and abroad, are seeking a platform to make a clarion call to their leaders for a hygienic political, social, and economical landscape in the motherland, there is one platform that is authentic, they always count on. Spoon Talk, the beacon of hope, the fountain of authentic information for this dispensation and dispensation conversations to come. Join the team of panelists Mondays through Saturdays, 8 p.m. locally, 4 Eastern Time, and other timings across the world. Tune into our radio services, Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1, and Super 95.5. We can also be reached on social media through Facebook or YouTube on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV Live. Locally tune in to Super TV Channel 10. Spoon Talk, setting Liberia's agenda for national growth. Yes, I station wide with the CEOs that come with the strong. And your boy, right in the south of that. Charges on the way. For the spoon to get your information. For the spoon to be kind.
All right. You want to know what's happening to Spoon. Good evening, Dr. ANC.
Whatever. Whatever, James. You haven't slept last night, huh? Because ANC business.
Let me get something myself. Okay.
Because of ANC business, you can't sleep, huh? Keep publicizing ANC. I know you can. I know you really like ANC, but you won't show you in the class of ANC that one.
Yeah.
I can tell the way you can be writing for us.
So, Kumis can be Bobby or
we don't buy people. We're not like other people who can be breaking ground for road and t-shirt and all of that stuff. There. We just gotta tell you, make our case for a better Liberia that way.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. How you doing? You all right?
God morning me. We here. We
God.
just following you people.
Yeah, every day you wake up is a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, today we had a nice day outside, but it's getting cool over here now. Pretty soon we'll get snow, which is not my favorite thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so yesterday I went into Philadelphia. I got all my fufu, the plenty fufu in the powder in the box. Yeah, that way we can cook over here. We got the fresh fufu and stuff like that. So I got the plenty fufu. I get it ready for Thanksgiving. I got it because I'm responsible for the fufu and soup for the family. And yeah, I told you that eating holiday coming up next week. Our eating holiday. 4 days will be eating.
Wow.
Y'all
put tabasui.
My other sister-in-law, she married to a man from Lofa County, so she know how to cook tabagi. So she the one bringing that one in. But I don't know how to cook tabasui, so I'm not even putting my hand in that one in. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. On your end.
Everyone is okay. Both Liberia and America here, we are managing.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure the CEO and his entire family, they are good. But it's just that he getting energized for you. So he's going to be joining us.
Whatever you do, don't get him potato green. Tell loud, how hard the potato green today. We able to get that Monday meal. Yeah,
potato green 31 days. The CEO can tell you the entire way.
I tell you that. And then when you eat out in there, Jenna, the whole show can just be there upside down. Yeah, but the point is, the audience can enjoy it. But anyway, we will wait for our other panelists to come. You know, this is the place to be. There's so much going on in Liberia. So much going on with us here. A lot of our panelists are rushing from work. I just
Yeah.
got off. CEO will be joining us. James Goodage, Japanese study lesson. You know, so we'll be here, but we're really thankful that you can be here today to discuss Liberia because Liberia is all we have. It runs through all of us, whether you're from near the Wologisi Mountain, whether you're from Lake Piso, whether you're from Manimba. Everybody got Liberia through there. Nobody is more of a Liberia than the other person. So we want to just tell all of you guys, thank you for joining us. I would like to welcome you. Participate in the comment section. When you don't like something we say, tell us. Just be, respectful. My own y'all can cost me. It doesn't matter. Nobody, I've been, I've been living in one house for my oldest daughter 24 years old now. One house I lived there for also I've been doing it for 24 years on my own. So I don't think any kind of words alone will stop me from doing what I'm doing. So CEO, you ain't putting today, huh?
No, I'm all right.
Okay.
Is it a potato green you
You
eat?
talking here, coming.
All right. She's
She's
asking if you eat potato green.
that whole cooking. I don't believe it, man. She's not the one that cook potato green. She know how to cook potato
Chicken,
green.
you very chicken. I swear to God.
Oh, well, I thought you in the bag again. You said, yeah.
You got the only thing you took from the settlement area that come with that chicken that's because you can add jello people in the very chicken.
But I thought you were in the bag again. Yeah, man. The person hungry coming from where then she asked me, you eat potato green. Like, how could the potato green? She know how to fry it, sir. No.
Me, you're not even going there, sir.
Yeah, but look, today is a very, very serious day. Just put a flyer up. Just put a flyer up. We shouldn't even wait for folks no more. Let's start this show.
Okay.
Something is happening in Liberia. It looked like you got a lot of people just lying to President Weah. Something serious mentally is happening with our people. One, Legis day number 4. 2, did Mr. G. Alex M. Williams of Legis resign? Or was he fired by the president like so many people? Now the information said President Weah fired him. They sent out an announcement. But did he resign or he got fired? James, you got all the documents to show to the folks today. We just want to educate our friends and fellow Liberians. Charlie, let up be how you doing? How you doing, people? Oh man, Zizo, how you doing? James, put this thing down. Something is happening to this government, Dr. Richardson. Day number 4, Legis. You know what? Let the government just forget about the Legis thing. Let me just leave it for the next government that coming. And I watch every word I'm going to say tonight. Can you imagine President we are firing the whistleblower because he's doing that which is right, that which is transparent? Or did he resign? So we're going to look at the date on his letter of resignation. James, you know what you got to do? Put that spoon something on that letter, James.
Yeah. I'm doing it.
Yeah. You got to look at the date on the letter of resignation and what the president said today. Hey, man, who's doing this to President Joe Weah? We want to tell you we got a lot of information today. And Alex William will be on the Spoon Talk tonight. He's joining us tonight. You're going to remove Wilmer Smith and you keep Lawrence George? It's like Shetty and you know how they call the other one. I ain't going to say it on our show.
Yeah, you know what? The two guys didn't work together in the past government during Soil Town. They were NPFL folks. They never, you're going to see them together. They're going to do everything together. But President, I don't know who advised on this president. How can you fire Wilmer Smith and keep Lawrence George? Today would be one of the days that Liberian will hear that wish they ought to hear for the sake of the country. Those guys, you cannot separate them. They are Shetty and you end it for me. That's how they are. Both. Wilmer Smith and Lawrence George. Both of them. And we're going to sit over here under this government, under this administration, under this president. And the president behave like he doesn't care. How did we come here? How? Why are we where we are? I'm going to be calling Representative Larry Youngcourt as well. Dr. Richard saying, you read the press statement from the president. You did number 4. And you know what they started to do today, just to prove something? They told few people, say, y'all go to the minister of the houses. Y'all go to the director of the houses and all of you doing census. Zero. Man. Our people bad, man. President Joe, we are showing no love for the country or the people. Today, I will say what I want to say. I don't care, man. Dr. Richard saying, I believe there's a reason why we are where we are. I believe through it all, God have not forgotten about us, and God will redeem Liberia out of this mess. I can tell you. I don't know how, but God knows best, and He will redeem Liberia out of this mess. Talk to me, Dr. Richard. Let her welcome our folks. Talk to me. I'm to a place now that you begin to ask yourself, why are we here? This is not normal. This is one of the worst days of President George Manawaya presidency. This thing will follow this president all the way to 2023. This thing will remind the people of Liberia. Poor decision by President Weah. Very poor decision. One of the worst decisions the president have ever taken. We cannot applaud the president for this. Talk to me, Dr. Richardson. Talk to me.
So, in terms of sacking someone, all of the different corruption, all of the different incompetent acts that have occurred, ranging from COVID, collecting $75 from people at the airport where we didn't see we didn't see any amount that went towards health, to now where we have not even census data being collected. The president never sacked, I think I only read one letter where he sacked somebody. The president never reached out for his government. Now he's talking about sacking Wilmer Smith and the whistleblower Alex Williams. So the president here, the Liberian people not burying him for too long. Too long. Like you're right, it's not normal. It's somebody abusing someone and you just keep taking it over and over and over. It's not normal. Not at all. And that's what this president is doing. to hear today that he actually sacked someone. And I did call for the firing. I didn't call for the firing for Alex Williams, because Alex Williams is the one who was telling us what was happening at Legis. He was the whistleblower. Okay? Don't they have whistleblowers protection in Liberia? Wilma Smith was the one who was doing all the wrong work. He was the one who was not making sure that the data was being collected. He's supposed to have been in charge of all of this census collection. Never happened. Very important thing in our country. I don't know if we can stop in the middle of this or not, but you're right. We in something that we just can't get out of. It is a problem, a big problem. And the people finna giving us, the UN people finna giving us the money. They got their staff there. So what do we do now? That's the question. What do we do now? But they may never reshuffle any government. So any government members now all of a sudden he wants to say he's firing someone. It's just strange to me.
And you know, welcome to the show, Kev. What is so amazing and disappointing is the misguided judgment of President Weah. You know, if you have a leader that have so many eyes and ears, faithful people, they will embrace nothing but the truth. They will embrace and welcome transparency, welcome justice, clean and fair justice. Every Liberian should hear this tonight. Every Liberian. For all these months, Samuel Tweed told the president, census will be done. Wilmer Smith assured the president, census will be done. Lawrence George assured this president, the president believed them. They stole 30,000 and bought rotten generator. The president gave a deaf ear. Foreign partners came and they spoke and they dismissed it. And today, the president is saying, okay, and you want me to fire? I will just fire Wilmer Smith and I will keep Lawrence George. Thank you. He said that I will keep Lawrence George. Lawrence George is equally or more corrupt than Wilmer Smith. Lawrence George is equally or more corrupt than Wilmer Smith. There's no need. And the young man, Alex Williams, that put his life on his line, that reported and brought this to the daylight, and the president with no shame fire him too. But no, he didn't fire him. Guess what, Dr. Rachel said?
What?
On Saturday the 12th, Alex resigned. He wrote a letter of resignation and sent it over to Samuel Tweed, the board chair, and sent it to all of them. So today we must tell the Liberian people the president is doing what they call cover face. Because Alex had resigned. We got a document. The email was sent. The notification was sent. Alex had resigned on Saturday, knowing very well that Spoon were going to discuss it today, and President George Manneh will just cover face. I said, but then let the man go. Go ahead, talk to us, Kev. You have your time, my brother. Welcome to Spoon Talk.
Oh, welcome again, another day. A couple of weeks, days ago, it was a heavy firing coming from the opposition Black, and of course, we talk about it on Spoon. People call for Wilmer Smith to go. A lot of people say things. And finally, the president took a decision. Like I said before, the president is a hands-on president. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he 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 acted. I think every Liberian should praise the decision because folks, well, they call for the head of Wilmer Smith. So I think that contrary to what the president did, I think I don't know how it would sound like, but I think people should applaud the decision of the president because the president took
That was a poor decision. Nobody can applaud such a decision.
Well,
only sedition will applaud such a decision. You know, let me say something to you, Cass. Let me say something to you. Alex, no, your 2 minutes is up. Your 2 minutes is up. Your 2 minutes is up. Alex is a sedition. Alex remained a sedition. Alex was a sedition even before you thought of being a sedition. You don't know about CDC more than Alex.
This is not.
You didn't suffer about CDC more than Alex. But it took everything in Alex to speak truth to power. But Kev, you done now. Let me finish. We got to get to the show. Kev, you done. No, Kev, you done. Kev, you done. Kev, you done. Kev, you done. You done. You can go if you want to go. You done. Stop doing this to Liberian tonight. Your time is up. I got to speak. Then you can come back in. Don't do this. Don't do this. No, don't do it at all. This is not a joke. We just not standing on the street selling color. This is life. This is about Liberia. Let's try to be truthful to the people. This is not a joke. We come here to spend our time, our 2-3 hours, just to joke around. It's wrong. I mean, if you want to have your own show, we can give you 2 hours every day. And you can do the Kev and Kev Hassan show. That's fine.
No,
this is not a joke.
All I want to have
your time is done, my brother.
That's all.
Yeah, I'm the moderator. You said that yesterday. I said, then you moderate. Then I will sit and listen to you. You don't want to moderate. So once I'm moderating, you got to follow the rules.
But I believe
if you want to moderate, then you moderate.
We believe in fairness, right? And
freedom I believe in fairness.
And freedom
I believe in more than freedom of speech. And then your time is up. Your time is up. That's freedom of speech. You got 1 second. That's your time was given to you.
Attacking me and telling me I don't know.
Yeah, you got 1 second. That freedom of speech, I gave you. That freedom of speech, we gave you 1 second.
Government.
Yeah. So stop wasting the people's time, my man. Stop wasting. We're not here to joke, man. That's what Rich is saying. And Alex is coming on the show tonight, just to let the folks know. Alex is going to come on the show. Let people know who the real Alex William is. Seriously. On the 12th, he resigned. He sent out his letter of resignation on the 12th. He did.
Saturday.
So nobody must sit over here and think that it's a game. He sent it out. When they saw his letter of resignation, then they got scared and said, we'll just fire him. But they knew that he had resigned. All those emails it was sent to, and those text messages, we got it. They knew he had resigned. This is wrong, man. Because he's saying the truth, you fire him? No, you didn't fire him. He resigned. And Liberia should hear it tonight that he resigned prior to this statement coming out today. That's a joke. Why should we be doing this over and over? When will President Weah ever learn? Just learn the basic, man, the fundamental. Show the people some love. I'm going to celebrate because you fire one role and you keep another role.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to celebrate for.
Good question.
I'm going to celebrate because if one of the men are eating the money, you fire him, and the other men are still eating the money, you keep it in there. No. That's not, Liberia will not, listen, their census is done. Forget it. We spoke to folks from counties, folks, supervisor that work with the census. I'm not going to call the counties, they will know them. They say, CEO will listen to you, except the postpone the census. Every data information they're going to receive, it will be false, it will be fake. So if you want to say something, we give you 2 minutes, we'll watch your clock. Because nobody going to slow talk us and store us into anything that they did. No, 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 no. If tonight show up for you, come back tomorrow. If tonight show up for you, come back tomorrow. But we got to do the right thing. Go ahead, talk to us, Dr. Richardson. Your two
You know,
minutes start.
yes, uh, the president has really disgraced Liberia. He has treated Liberians very bad. He is incompetent to do this job. The census is such an important exercise for Liberia. We've talked about the value. Why is it important to show for, on so many occasions? And he doesn't seem to get it. Okay. And, I like to go back to historical information. Something as simple as hiring, making appointment to a position, we saw that the president could not do that. Then we're moving on to more complex, critical thinking type of decision making as it comes to the rights issue that has different components. You got the Ministry of Commerce, you got the Port Authority, you got the importers. It got different parties to it. The president could not, he can't manage that. He's very concrete oriented thinking kind of a guy. And the reason why I say that is because how can you, like Stanton said, fire one person, and then keep another person who's also is just as incompetent as the person that you fire? You didn't even, your administrative reason was the justification. Yes, I did call for the firing of everyone. I meant everyone. I didn't mean I go pick and choose. I meant including the chairman of the board, D12, because I really think he is he is the mastermind miner of all of what's going on at Lich's right now. You cannot be the chair and tell me that you just didn't read the financial reports. You have not listened to us on Spoon, the radio, speak about all of the different dysfunctional behavior that was happening at that agency. There's no way you can be the chair of a board, in the organization, and don't know what is happening there. So we if the president was listening, I think he would have fired all of those guys. He would have kept someone like Alex who actually called attention to the problem and utilized Alex to give him advice as to how to move forward, how to correct the situation. I still want to have faith that we can do this, we can collect the census, we can do this job because it is so important. I would be very, very downhearted and disappointed if, it turns out that we failed at the census, which is most likely what's going to happen.
Dr. Richardson,
Yes.
there always faith for those that have no faith and hope for the hopeless. This time around, we should be straight up with all Liberians. They should take this censor thing and put it in the trash and wait when responsible folks take over the census thing, then we do census. There's no way this census can be done under the current. Whether you take some, listen, this thing is not about Wilmer Smith or Lawrence George. It's about Samuel Tway. Listen, this thing is about Samuel Tway. Samuel Tway told the president, you can fire these two guys then. These are our guys. We'll let Wilmer Smith take the bullet, but keep Lawrence George. And that's exactly what the president did. How can you save this shame? That's exactly what the president did. There's no more faith. Wrap the whole census things up. Wrap it up. Throw it to next year. Throw it to next year. Our country is embarrassed. Our country is bleeding. Our country is crying for good leadership. Today is the 14th. Joe Ware should be watching his son playing football on the 20th or the 21st. That's his concern right now. He doesn't care about census. He doesn't care about damn about what is happening over there. Who's supposed to follow Alex? It should be the bull, which is headed by Simon Tway. It shouldn't be the president put a proclamation and say we let them go. No. But we will get to it. Did they fire him or did he resign? It's wrong. Kev Hassan, you have your 2 minutes, my brother. It won't be okay, but you have your time and nobody will interrupt you.
She took 3 minutes.
Kev Hassan, you got 2 minutes, my brother.
09. I just want to just throw that out, but I'll take my 2 minutes. Let me say this. I repeat myself. I will applaud the president of taking a decision in the interest of the Liberian people. I always say this. The president is a hands-on. It doesn't mean if you're not in the country, then you start being president. The country that we live, the world that we live in now, you can be president and be active doing your work, even if you in Israel, you can still do your job. It doesn't mean you have to be in the country. By evidence of what the president did. So what the president did, I applauded the president, and some of us who do trust this president's decision, he took a decision in the interest of the people. So in my view, I think everybody should applaud this and say where to go and let's move forward. Because a couple of days ago, weeks ago, I was beating on, President should fire Wilmer Smith. Wilmer Smith should go. He should go. He should go. He gone now. We're looking for something else. I always say this. Even if the president fire everybody in the government, they will say no. You bring new people, they will say fire the people. You bring different people, they will say fire. People will never be satisfied until they remove this president.
Until the president fire himself.
It will not happen.
Most Liberia will be satisfied. But your time is up.
You say you're not interrupted.
Yeah, but your time is up. You started 411, it's 414.
Get used to that name.
You started 411 and 414. Thank you. Your time is up. Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson, why we come to you and for Liberians to hear us very clear, we're going to go step by step, right? As to when Alex William was hired, when he was hired. We're going to go back to the 13th, when the 13th of November of this year, just yesterday, when the board met and they decided to do what they wanted to do. We're going to talk about the resignation of Alex. We're going to bring in Representative Yeke Koluba and all those that want to join us tonight. We're going to bring them in. Liberians need to know the truth and nothing but the truth. Why are we here? And we're going to bring in Alex. Who's doing this? Please stop posting stuff up, please. We're going to bring in Alex Williams, and he will speak to the nation tonight. He will address the nation like he has never done before. The failure of leadership when it comes to legis. Why this census will never be successful. Even as Samuel 12 remains the board chair, this census will never be successful. Even as Liberian willing to stay home and to be part of the number, yet and still, the government will fill them over and over and over again. Let's have some very, very serious conversation. Let's have some very, very serious conversation. And let me bring in Alex. Alex, thank you for joining us. Alex Willem. We want to say thank you a lot for joining us today. Today is a very, very special, serious day. Let me say thanks to Honorable Yeka Koduba, the representative Koduba. Thank you for joining us. No matter what the Liberian people do or say, no matter what the Liberian people do or say, the government will fail them again and again and again. When will this government realize that above all else, Liberia should be first? Dr. Richardson, you have your 2 minutes. We'll be bringing in Yeka Koluba. Then Alex will have the time to speak to the nation tonight.
For the record, when we ask for people to be fired, we're not just asking selectively. We're looking for a government that will look at the credentials of the people and what they have done wrong. So I just want to say, when you're firing people, you look at, what they have done wrong. You don't look at, a blanket firing of everybody. Or if you do a blanket firing of everybody, someone like Alex, who's a whistleblower, he should be looked at in a different light. He should be brought in and asked questions and see if he's among the people who have corrupt behavior at Lich's. So it would be good for us to understand, how Alex see the leadership at Lich's. It sounds to me it comes from the top. Again, I don't think that the Samuel Twer is innocent. I think he's actually part of the corrupt practices. He's he's chair of the board. Also, I hope that Alex is safe. I hope that, because I have some concern about him. Maybe he can also tell us that. All I can say is it pains me is, when you hear your country, Liberia, and all that is going on. It's a sad day for me, honestly, and I'm sure it's a sad day for many Liberians. It bothers me really, because this is something that could have been avoided. This is something that should not have happened. We've been saying this time and time again, and we have given this government, this president, many, many opportunities. The first 2 years, I have a very good friend that gave him a year. I give him a year. So another friend that gave him 2 years, you give him 2 years. But he still is making the same old mistakes over and over and over and over. The only thing I can say, like the other people can say the job to be for him. He can't do it. Like this man cannot do the job. He just listens to other people. He can't do the job. So y'all please help him and vote him out. That's the only thing I can say.
Let's bring in Representative Yeka Koluba. Then we'll go to our brother Kev Hassan. Representative Koluba, thank you for joining us. Alex is still reconnecting. We hope to have him shortly. Welcome again to the Spoon Talk, Honorable.
Thank you. It's good to be on the show tonight, Stanton. This is not a news to me. For me, I knew ever since. From the day the president declared a holiday, I know there are going to be no census. I heard you talk about they put some people in the street to go to pretend that they're doing census to go to ministers and the other houses. It was yesterday. I hope you know that it was yesterday that they put the people in the street. Can you imagine they put people in the street on Sunday? On Sunday, few people in the street on Sunday. Look, Stanton, that the reason and Kev, as long as we have somebody that do not have interest in the country, somebody that is insensitive to the plight of the Liberian people, we will have the thing going on. I knew long time that the census will not be here. I knew long time how my supporters, I went to a program yesterday, I told them, I said, don't waste your time, there will be no census. They don't waste your time. If the president mean well, he will come back. What he's doing over there is not important than the census. The census will bring a lot of things to the country. So what he got interested in, what he can get. If the president mean well, he will sack Samuel Twer. But I remember when the former minister of state came on your show, he made a statement. And check, I think one or two days before, after he left your show, I came on the show. and made reference to a statement that was made. And I told the Liberian people that my contacts and the partner took this statement very, very serious. When he said he had the ability to call on people to come and give money, he get the power to do that. The people took that line. Go back to some of my clip. And I urge you to go back to some of my clip on Spoon. You should bring that particular statement. When I said it on Spoon, I said that statement made by Maggie. He shouldn't have made that statement. But what I'm about to say, people will say Yeke is saying something again. The same thing that happened to Maggie and Betra with him will soon happen to Tue very soon. From what I'm looking at from our souls, very, very soon. Not in a long distance. Very, very soon. Because Tue then, when they grab those people that are the problem, that pushing Ambassador Weir to say run again. Ambassador Weir know that he has failed the country. He don't want to run. But because of this kind of situation where Samuel Tue then will sit and send a bodyguard to say pay to serve, where Samuel Tue then will sit and say, look, Legends, you have sent some money for me, pay to serve and bring it. Everything that has been collected, Samuel Tue is a part of it. It's not done with all his concern. You think he don't know? You think he's not aware of what's going on? He's aware, and the president is in the know. The president is in the know. Stanton, I get frustrated to know that on Saturday they arranged and prepared 500,000 to send to Ambassador Weir. Let them prove me wrong.
So we'll come there. Let's just hear from Kev. We'll come there because we are trying to fix up Alex internet.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you come on the show because he mean well. He need to put something for the Liberian people.
He's going to be speaking. Kev Hassan, please.
Well, and I keep repeating this, but I think it's time for us to move on and talk about the census and how the census will benefit and our people. I think we should move on because it's clear now. No matter what the president do, I was speaking to my brother Fagon today, and I reminded him. I said, "You remember when folks will come every day and say the president should fire you? You're destroying the government. The same folks praising you now." I said the same folks will start praising Wilmot Smith. The same folks will say Wilmot Smith is a good guy. And the Liberian people, they are very smart people. I compare what happened in America. A lot of things they said against the American government when the voters went to vote this election, they proved that what they were saying, and they were not listening to it. They were just listening to what they feel that is right for their country. And that's what's happening in Liberia. The voters will not listen to all those things because everything.
Nothing.
Every time the president do things, they will criticize it. But the voters are smart enough. The voters are intelligent enough. The Liberian people smart, they're intelligent. So when they hear all this thing going, they will say, I thought the people talk about firing Wilmot Smith. They fire Wilmot Smith now. They say, oh, no. Why you do that? Do other things. So with all this thing going around, the Liberian people intelligent enough, they're smart enough, they know exactly the politics they're playing. So the president not here to listen to the naysayers there, everything he do. He here to work in the interest of the Liberian people. And again, I applaud the president for the president's decision in the interest of the Liberian people. Period.
Thank you, Kev. Thank you. While Kev disgracefully applauding the president's decision, it is unfortunate that he can applaud the president's decision uh, to allow Lawrence George to still be on the job. As you see, all the record we're about to post these records, this information that Lawrence George is writing check to himself. Everything he does is paid to self, paid to self. And the question you Librarian should be asking why? Why President we are keeping Lawrence George? Why President we are even allowing he promoted Lawrence George as acting director general? Why? So he confirming to you Liberians that it's okay for Lawrence George to steal. He confirming to you Liberian that it's okay for Lawrence to steal your money, the taxes, money that came by way of the government. It's okay. When Senator Tony say keep Lawrence George, don't fire Lawrence George, the president say okay. Let's say it in the very simplest of terms. Let's just understand ourselves tonight, Yeke. It's okay to keep him, though he's on record of stealing the Liberian people money. Though he's on record with LDCC, the president said, I care less. And kept calling us naysayer. Are we naysayer? The naysayer, you are the people you turning to call them naysayer. Those are the people you'll be backing them to vote for you 2023. The naysayer that will look up and tell the president, Mr. President, you are wrong. All of them got to go. Why did you fire Alex? Why? Why did you remove him? Because he spoke the truth? Mr. President, you are in error. You are in error. Don't do it. You are so wrong. You have lost the chances of you being re-elected. Seriously, you are so wrong. We're going to put the letter up. Go ahead, Dr. Richardson.
So, yes, I want to state that, when we speak about the incompetency in this government that have allowed the Liberian people to suffer, we're not just talking, making a blanket statement like some people will come here to say, oh, no matter what the president does, we'll never be happy. That is not true at all. Some people will want you to believe that. But let's go back. I like to give you guys some record, okay? Let's start off with the map up service. Okay, the map up exercise that was involved in Liberia. Who was involved? Wasn't it Twe? No accountability again for that amount of money that was the 25 million dollars that was in the country. Map up services. Let's go to the corruption. The corruption that they sanctioned people and they said that they were going to have people investigated. What happened? We still listening. Nothing not happened with that whole investigation. Let's go to the LSCC suspension. Again, something that is sitting on somebody's desk. Nobody know what happened with that. Let's go to the rights insecurity that we had in the country. 12 was involved in that as well. Nothing happened. We still suffering from rights business in the country. Remember the road fund, Mr. Tweki on this show again. He went and gave us all kind of different explanation. A new word that I learned from CEO Tabata. All kind of different explanation with the road fund. Nothing happened with that. Now we are here. Then we went to COVID. COVID, they collected $75 from each person entering the country. We never heard about edit. We never heard whether the money went, how it went, what it was used for. That going down. So yeah, we have to deal with the census. So I'm giving you, it's not the matter of just not liking this president. It's the matter of saying, is he working in the best interest for Liberian people? That's what that is the matter here. Is he doing his job for the Liberian people? Is he doing the common things? Is he meeting goals? When you have goals for your country, vision for the country, are we doing that? Obviously, when we look at all of these different scenarios that I have given you, it's not measuring up. He's not. And so the only thing we can say is that, there's no need to keep hiring the same person when they're not doing a job for you. So Liberian people, your choice is to vote him out and get competent people in to take care of the business of Liberia. Let's put Liberia back on the map as we should put it back on the map.
Thank you very much. We want to say we're going to stop. Alex is working on his internet to be on the show very, very soon. He will be speaking to the nation tonight. We can tell you all, forget census. Forget census. Census is dead. Not 2023. Forget census. I put my hand up and say, if you listen to us tonight, forget census. It's dead. If anybody tell you that they are doing census, it will be inaccurate. If anyone tell you that they are doing census, it will be inaccurate. Because you know why? They have eaten the money. They have lied to you. They continue to lie to you. They have not paid the enumerators. Those in the interior are still suffering and calling for help. Wilmer Smith have eaten enough. Senator decided to say, Mr. President, let's get rid of Wilmer Smith. Let's get rid of the person that tell it all, Alex Williams. He the one told it all. But yet and still, when they call him to beg him last week, they beg him. They said, be quiet, don't go on spoon. We got all the messages. We're displayed tonight for y'all to see. And he said, no, enough is enough. Can't you imagine? I will tell you guys this one. They didn't even know who Alex William was. It shouldn't be surprising to you. This is a true story. President Ware was asking about who that guy they said talking. That's how far President Ware is from reality when it comes to censor and legis. And like, bro, you need to know, sometimes we keep these stories because we just want at least to save face. President Ware had to ask for his name and his position a few days ago. This is very, very, very serious. Let's bring in Sintuman and George, and then we will put up the resignation letter of Alex. So you, Liberian, can decide, did he resign or they fire him? And President Weah letter came out today that they say they must remove him. But what happened 2-3 days ago? What did Alex do? Sintuman and George, I hope all is well with you and the family because you go back from a funeral, and I hope you guys are remaining strong. But thanks for joining us tonight. Talk to us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back, and especially to discuss issues in our country. But regarding legis, my honesty is that all the enumerators and the staff of legis received their pay, that they all got paid, and the supplies, they are all through the country now, I think. They're all over the
Your
country.
understanding?
Yeah, that's why I found out today.
That's a
They're all
lie.
being paid. And
That's a lie, Judge. Let me just interrupt you. That's a 100
wow,
bloody lie. I say on the show
that's
it's so bad. You see, and these are the lies that goes in the president ear. I'm not mad at you, Georgie, but these are the bull-faced lies people are telling our fellow Liberians. They have certain fee, and guess what? And they have another fee. They pay the souls to pay them. What they were giving them is a certain fee. They didn't even pay all of them the certain fee. So if anybody gave you that information, ask them. Say, what are you talking about? Send me something, let me see. You know, our country deserves better, man. But go ahead, Georgie. Sorry to interrupt you. Please go ahead.
well, yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, we can call legis and verify, but that's why I was told before I got on the show that they all those who are working, they pay them and they give the supplies, the kit, and they're all being deployed throughout the country as the census continues. So, and regarding the dismissal, okay, I think those who work at appointed by the president, they serve at his will and pleasure. So he's acted on the guys. Wilmer Smith, we've been calling for Wilmer Smith head off for a long time, and the president fired him today. And So he's appointed someone. I mean, that's the election. When you're in the office of president, that what can happen though. You fire somebody who serve at your pleasure, your will and pleasure. So now that he's been fired, and the census, I mean, my big concern is that this census must go ahead, and for the fact that it is in full swing, I mean, understanding, I think we should move on and
But you cannot say
let's see
for
what
the
happens.
fact. Say you heard. That's not
Yeah,
fact.
yeah, because if
So you cannot say for the fact. Like we got to check you now.
yeah, but
You heard,
the census is in full swing.
but that's not fact. That's a lie.
So I
And
mean, how do how,
Alex is coming on the show. St. Thomas
okay?
George. Alex, he's coming on the show. And he will eradicate. He will speak truth to power tonight like he have never done before. One of the lies, right? And whosoever putting this kind of information out there, it's disgraceful. It's bad for our country, Georgie. These are the same information that go to feed into the president. It's bad. We were able to speak to some supervisors, Georgie, in the interior. I don't want to call the county. They would chase them. The people say, we won't receive nothing yet. We're just sitting around. When did the president make his proclamation? On the 11th. Today is the 14th, day 4th. Nothing happened. Let me put up the day while Alex is getting ready to come up. I just want you guys to see Alex's letter. What's the date on Alex's letter? If you can see the letter, what's the date on the letter?
November 12th.
November 12th. That's the date on Alex's letter, November 12th. When did the president announcement came out? I hope, how you call him? A good day, you got to put the president statement out, please. It came out today. The president's firing Wilmer Smith that came out today. But folks, this is the letter that was sent. Alex Williams' resignation letter. You guys need to see it. So when people come and say, oh, the president fired him, no. Yeah, the people saw the beginning letter. They decided to talk about firing him for them to save face. Let's go in the letter. Let's read the letter. So when folks begin to say, oh yeah, the president take the right decision, the president fired the wrong in person. So this is another lie, Liberian. This is another lie. He said, please accept my compliment and best wishes to you and the entire membership of the Board of Legislators. Today, the 12th of November, 2022, I want to begin by honestly extending my thanks and appreciation to you and the full membership of the board for the opportunity afforded me to have assumed and served the government and people of Liberia in the capacity of Deputy Director General for Statistics and Data Processing at the National Statistic Office, Legis. It's going to get interesting, folks. It's going to get interesting. However, after several years and months of crying out loud to you and other members of the board regarding issues of rampant corruption, somebody help us tonight. And I want my fellow Liberian, please pay attention to this because it's getting so interesting now to see how they lie after he pushed them. And I will screenshot the text messages from them asking him that they would not accept the letter. And they're asking him to withdraw the letter. And he'll come on the show tonight. And he said no to them. We will show it to those folks that are holding Liberia hostage. Samatua receive it. We got a confirmation. The board members receive it. We got a confirmation. And this is what happened. And Alex is coming on. Alex is coming on. And let me continue reading this because we have to go. And he said that to create a genuine step have been taken to remedy the situation. For instance, I advised on several occasions, including the submission of a technical note to the board in August this year, detailing reason why the census was not feasible for October, not November, but my advice was ignored. What has now befallen the nation and its people is not only embarrassing, but disastrous for the forward march of our development and democracy as a nation. You got to listen to this and more to come. Therefore, I am tendering in my resignation from the position of Deputy Director General for Statistics and Data Processing at Legis. I shall turn over all access or belongings in my possession for Legis, as well as provided a turnover note to you and the full membership of the board on or before next Friday, on the 18th. Let me tell you, when he included November 18th, they had a meeting with him. They begged him, and he would speak for himself. They said, give us 1 week. What the president did today was the worst in his leadership. The worst. After they sent folks to beg Alex, after they sent folks to negotiate with Alex, they offered him the director proper job. He said no. He sent this into them. We will put the email portion of that. They receive it for you to see. These are the things our country, Liberia, face with. These are the things Liberia face with. Let me put this thing out for a minute. Let me just put it out very quick, just for a few seconds, because we got a lot to discuss, and Alex is coming on. And now you have seen the letter, Sir Timon and George. Dr. Richardson, you have seen the letter. And I will put the other explosive out. I will put everything out. Let Liberian people see it clear. Enough is enough. Talk to us, Dr. Richardson. Welcome to the show, Dr. Peabody.
There were three things that, caught my attention in the letter. One, he had warned the government that October, November was not feasible for the census. The second thing he talked about was he told them he was resigning because of the rampant corruption, which we've been reporting here. Alex himself talked about that. Corruption where people were writing checks to themselves, they were buying old machines and misappropriating the price, putting different price on it, saying that they bought it. So those are the things Alex talked about. Then he said the usurpation of my function, which basically means this is the man who studied statistics, who can tell us, give us a projection, like, okay, if we go into Congo Town today, we're supposed to be able to see based on statistics, we're supposed to serve 10 people here, 5 people here, 8 people here. That's what he does. But they didn't want to listen to him. They wanted to listen to someone like Wilma Smith, who he did tell us has no degree in statistics, never done this kind of job yet before, or he had very limited experience with this kind of job. And knowing how important the statistics is for, policy making, infrastructure development, school, how we study malaria, how we study diseases in our country, it's very, very important that we put strategic people who know how to do the job in these areas. And obviously that was not happening. And so this is what Alex was calling, he was blowing the whistle on. This is what he was blowing the whistle on. We've seen that a lot of the enumerators didn't get paid. Reading the live feed, a lot of them saying that they're in different parts of the country, that they are not getting paid as well. Sadly to say, this census, it's hard to speak. It's really hard to speak. The only thing I can say is that Liberians pay attention. This is about our country. This is not a joking matter. We need someone who can get the job done, get the business of Liberia done. That's the person that we need in power.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson, folks. We want to sit down. Alex, Alex Williams is in studio. He's in studio. We're going to be having a very, very good conversation. And you're going to hear the truth tonight, because when these things happen, let's stop the they say, he say, she say. Let's hear from the horse's mouth. So Alex, welcome to the Spoon Talk. It's good to have you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you so much, Stanton, and let me say thank you to the Spoon family. I will try as much as possible tonight to control my emotion, but you should understand that I will sometimes get very emotional, and I will use some languages that I will try not to use. So the very first thing I will say to you, Stanton, and to the people of Liberia is that I'm very ashamed. I'm very disappointed, and it's one of the saddest moments in my life for a person who I laid down my entire life for, my entire youthfulness for. Some of you don't know, but in the CDC, I went to prison along with Chairman Moruba Moru when we asked for the resignation of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. November 7, I was Councillor Tottenham and the president today. We went through the bullets and the beating. On several occasions, we were arrested and placed behind bars for President Weah. People call all kinds of names when we're on the university campus because of the CDC. CDC is the first political party that I've joined, and I've never envisioned in my entire life that I will be a member of any political party. I've supported President Weah all along from the days contesting for the Senate up to today. I can recall during the Senate election, I was in the war room at Honorable Edwin Snow's house when we were tallying the vote for President Weah. The second round election in 2017, I served as the data or war room head. I formulated all of the strategy, all of the system. Within less than 24 hours, I got 99.24% of the total results, which was 5,390 polling places in Liberia. And we were the one who published the result that today, President Weah became president. And all through what I have thought to do is to be honest to this president and to this government that I've struggled for all of my entire youthfulness to serve my country. I've always told people that over hundreds of thousands and million people supported Ambassador Weah like me, some more qualified than me. And so when I got the opportunity to serve in government, I thought it was a privilege and not a right. And because of that, I thought to serve with diligence, with integrity, because it is not about President Weah alone. It is about the vast majority of the poor, ordinary Liberian people that we promise that will give them better opportunity and better hope when we assume state power. But today, it is an irony. And I'm very disappointed. I'm very frustrated. And that is why today I may somehow and sometimes become emotional. But let me go to the issue. The first thing I want to say to the president today is that, Mr. President, apparently your legal advisors and your advisors are now informing you. I am not a presidential appointee. I do not work at the will and pleasure of the president. I today encourage the office of the president to show you any communication where the president appointed me as Deputy Director General for Statistics and Data Processing. There's no such communication. I also encourage you to go to the Senate. If there is one picture or video of confirmation of Alex Williams, nobody should believe me in Liberia and the world at large. So I'm not a presidential appointee. I do not work at the will and pleasure of the president. The president did not hire me, and as such, the president cannot fire me. If you read the latest act, and Stanton, I have sent you a provision of the latest act. If you read section 58.2 of the latest act that was enacted into law in 2004 under the transitional government, it says clearly that an institution is established, and it talks about the president at first appointing the director general, and that the board of directors of allegiance shall appoint the 3 deputies. That's the law. It does not say the president appoints the deputy. And the law is before you. And Mr. Wilmot Smith and Alex Williams was never appointed by the president. We were appointed by the board. And I'll send you, Stanton, my appointment letter after successfully completing 3 months of probation when the board appointed me. It is very clear. So that's the first thing I wanted to make clear, that I do not work at the will and pleasure of the president. And I was never appointed by the president. I was appointed by the board. Next thing I want to say to you, Stanton, I also sent to you a communication dated September 29 of this year, where I wrote the board an email asking them to grant me the opportunity to leave, to resign as Deputy Director General for Statistics and Data Processing. That communication is before you on the 29th of September. The European Union ambassador is a member of the board of Legis. His email is in that communication, and all other board members. And I asked them to resign because on August 25th, there was a board meeting. And that board meeting decided and derived that I was illegally suspended as Census Project Coordinator in February by my boss, and that they have investigated and found me not guilty, but that rather Mr. Wilmot Smith, Mr. Lawrence George, and Francis Ware were guilty of corruption, rampant corruption, misuse of government funds, and as such, I should preside over the census. That was August 25th this year. And they also told them to turn over my vehicle that they had seized from me for over 2 months. They returned my vehicle. When I went back to serve as Census Project Coordinator, Mr. Smith started to hinder the progress of the census. While I was being reinstated as Census Project Coordinator, Mr. Smith was having meetings at Bel Casa and at the City Hall and other places on the census-related activities, with all my knowledge and with all my consent. But before that, I must say to you that the government of Liberia in 2019 spent $25,000 United States dollars to send me to the Czech Republic, the University of Prague, to study a master in official statistics. And I obtained a double master in official statistics with distinction, with honor. And I decided that I would do a thesis squarely focusing on Liberia's census, on how Liberia would transition her census from a traditional-based approach to a combined approach, and subsequently to a fully register-based approach. Because, for instance, in 2015 in the Netherlands had a population at the time of over 12 million. And only 15% did the entire Netherlands census in 2015, using just 1.5 million. And that census was fully register-based. And I thought it would be appropriate that we use Liberia census to transition forward, because we are always not having census most of the time because of financial constraint. And so we will use this as a benchmark to lay the basis and foundation for subsequent censuses. And so during my regime as Deputy Director General for Statistics, for the first time in our country history, we transitioned the census from papi to capi. That is from pen and paper interviewing to computer-assisted personal interviewing. It was under my leadership. We crafted the census project document. We did the budget and everything. And so when I finished my school and returned, I decided that I got a scholarship to do a PhD, and I decided I would pursue a PhD. While I was in Ghana processing my resident permit, I got a call from Minister Quay that I should return to the country because the partners, the World Bank, the UNFPA, and other people wanted me to come back because the census were having a lot of challenges, and they wanted me to help to solve those challenges. And I have a recording to that effect. And I told Minister Twelve that if I'm coming back to Lagos, people should be willing to ensure that we have a transparent census, very professional and ethical, without any form of corruption and embarrassment. He consented, he agreed. In fact, Minister Twelve is on record for telling my boss that I was taking over the census, and my boss should never interfere in anything that has to do with the census. I have a recording to that effect. It's not they say, Minister Tuer can never deny that. And so because I thought it would be important that I come back and serve my country, I returned. The cartographic activity or the mapping exercise of the census was not on course. There were a lot of other challenges. When I returned, I placed all of those things along with the team, and we successfully mapped this entire country. We mapped this entire country and divided it into smaller parts that we call enumeration area. We had over 13,480 enumeration areas across the country. That's the first phase of the census, which is the cartographic aspect. After that, we went and did the pilot census. The pilot census is like if you are going to play a football game and you decide to go in with your player to practice. So we test the methodology of the census, the questionnaire, the instrument, the logistical arrangement, all of those things. During that period, we also calculate what we call the length of time it takes for an interview. That is what we use. That is one of the reasons why I decided that we would transition the census from the PAPI to the CAPI, because when you use the computer-assisted personal interview, you collect what we call para data. The para data, for instance, tells you the number of time an enumerator takes to complete a particular household. And so on the basis of the pilot census, you can now estimate and say that it will take you 1 day or 2 days or 10 days to complete the entire census. These are things Wilmot Smith don't have any understanding and does not even know. These are things that people like us who struggle, sacrifice for our country to come back and do the right thing, is being bottlenecked and being stuffed with and being embarrassed with. And so when I returned and started the census, it all went smoothly. During the pre-test or pilot census, lists started to come from here and there. Before even the census, the pilot census, we went to Ghana. I and Professor Francis Ray, the then CTA, Ibrahim Sisi, and the GIS director, Thomas David, went to Ghana in July of last year because Ghana was conducting her census from July 4th to July 14th. We spent 10 days in Ghana to understand how they were conducting the census and everything. And one of what we even realized is that the cartographic mapping exercise we did in Liberia were far sophisticated in Ghana. And they were even asking us how did we succeed in doing these things. And in fact, the model that we use today is now being used by ArcGIS all around the world. People are even wanting to learn from Liberia how we did this for the very first time. And we came back, one of what I saw in Ghana and thought it was useful to come and replicate in Liberia census was that Ghana had an exclusive census website. And on that census website, they had an e-portal or e-recruitment site. I have the receipt in my possession. When we return to Liberia, we have a conversation. They agree that we should go a digital recruitment exercise because there is a fully digital census. I have communication to show you that I requested on 2 different occasions for resources to provide for the payment of domain and hosting account and SSL for the domain and hosting account for the census website. They refused. I personally pay with my own cash. I personally pay with my own cash. I have that receipt. We set up the census website. We set up the e-recruitment portal. When we launched the pilot census phase, Minister Tuer was there, the Swedish ambassador was there, and other dignitaries were there. They were very impressed about the e-recruitment portal. We demonstrated it. People were excited. For the very first time in the country history, that we were going to recruit people through a transparent process. And that people were going to apply and would know when they apply, who are they and where they apply from. And I have all of the databases and data in my possession. And so we decided that all those who will apply and who will be selected for the census must go through the e-recruitment exercise. After the e-recruitment exercise application process completed, when we were about to shortlist, then we started seeing name from this other place, name from this other place, name from this other place. And I have email in my possession, tons, to show you that I said this cannot be the order of the day. This is an e-recruitment portal. If you are not in the e-recruitment portal, you cannot be shortlisted no matter who you are, no matter where the list is coming from. Because this is what you guys promised me. Besides, we cannot shortlist someone who did not apply. Many people don't know, but for instance, in Ivory Coast last census was never accepted because of similar pattern. Statistics, the sole and intent of official statistics all around the world is international comparability. That is, when you produce a GDP figure in Liberia, it must be synonymous to what is in Sierra Leone, what is in Ivory Coast, and what is in all around the world, because we have international standards. And so we cannot be different from the rest of the world. So we set up this portal. People have applied, and now you bring in lists from this place, you bring in lists from this place, who are not in the application portal. I said, no, we cannot do that. And so people thought I was recalcitrant. They felt that I didn't want to listen, and they started to do all manner of things. We were on just the list for over 2 weeks, back and forth. Just the list to put out. We needed just 266 persons. Wilmer Smith brought a listing of over 186 names that did not apply. I have it in my possession. And we went back and forth. The setup committee and said, go and review the list. All those who did not apply, we went ahead with setup committee. We defined a methodology for selection. We shortlisted those who should be in the portal. We sent it to them. They refused to accept that listing. At the end of the day, the Director General, Wilmer Smith, and rest of people decided that they would publish a listing that they wanted to publish that had a lot of names of people who did not apply. And so when they went together in the office and they told the Director General, but you are the head of the entity, it is only just one person. So you can go ahead and publish the listing, when in fact the Director General said, well, that as census project coordinator, I must be a signatory to the listing before I put up. It is placed out. They went ahead and published the listing. All I did was to write and document them that I am not part of this list. I do not own up to it. The processes leading to this list is erroneous. And what did my boss even do? My boss went and sent that official list to even the UNFPA and other partners. And when you open the list that he sent to these partners, and I have the email in my possession and the list, you will see this other person, you see a name, the names on it, you see Wilmer Smith, you see a name on it, you see this other person, you see the name on it. And I have email in my possession to show you that the partners wrote against the listing that this is wrong. That we had to even manage that situation to successfully conduct the pilot census. Minister Tue is aware. We went in Minister Tue's office on this very listing, and Minister Tue was supporting. That is why tonight I'm not going to mince my words for Minister Tue, because Minister Tue is a C-square liar. He's a C-square liar, meaning he's a certified career liar. And he lied to the Liberian people. He came on the Spoon Network and other places and saying, okay, today and tomorrow, I'm going to unveil who Minister Tue actually is, and how embarrassing he is to this government and this country, and how insincere he is. And what I say with facts. The last time I was on Spoon, when I talk with documentation. I came here tonight, I brought sufficient documentation. I have more than 596 exhibits of wrongdoings that have been occurring alleges that nobody can contest. And so that was how the pilot census went. We managed that. We successfully conducted the pilot census. The pilot census was to be used to inform us on the conduct of the actual census. They ignore everything. When Lawrence George came and the rest of the other people, they decided they will alter the entire census project document. Lawrence George was only interested in buying things, so he wanted to buy this one, he wanted to buy this other one. When in fact the census project document is very clear that the census had a census steering committee, had a census commission, has a census project management team, and all of those various organs. The census secretariat, as per the census project document, runs the day-to-day activity of the census, including procurement, logistics, whatever you can think about. And the census secretariat is headed by the census project coordinator. It's a project. If you read the principles and recommendation revision 3 of the United Nations population, United Nations it will tell you that Census is the largest and biggest undertaking any country can undertake during the time of peace. And it lists you all of the various organs and structures that must be put in place to run the census. And so that is how they started to behave. And because of that, because I refused to dance to the whim and caprices of these corrupt individuals, we went to a meeting on February 10th, and Minister Tuer and myself attended that meeting. I was online. That very day, I have my medical report to show that I went to the 14th Military Hospital. And because of that, I told my bosses prior to the meeting that I will not be in person because I'm going to the 14th Military Hospital. But I will join online. The meeting started at 2 o'clock. I was online 2 o'clock. Minister Tuer came online 5 minutes after 2. 30 minutes after 2, the latest folks was never in the UN headquarters for the meeting. So Minister Tuer asked, but where are the latest people? And I have the recording, the Zoom recording also to that effect. And I answered Minister Tuer, I said, I'm online. And I did ask my boss in order for excuse that I won't be in person because I just came from the 14th Military Hospital. In fact, I'm still driving. After that meeting, because they already wanted to get at me, they wrote my boss wrote a communication on February 17, suspending me for time indefinite as Census Project Coordinator. How can you suspend me when you are not the one who appointed me? I have the communication from Minister Tuer that he wrote on June 29, 2021, appointing me as Census Project Coordinator, sending the communication to the UNFPA resident rep at the time, Dr. Bennett, who is now the Regional Director for Central Africa UNFPA Head Office. And you are also on record, Minister Tuer, for telling this Director General to stay away from the census because the UNFPA and other partners are complaining. The Swedish and other people are complaining. How can you now sit and this director tells you that he suspend me and I go to you and you cannot take any action? Only because Waymon Smith was the one who crafted the communication, and Waymon Smith and Minister Tuer knows exactly what both of them are in, for which he cannot take action against Waymon Smith. But whatever Minister Smith and Waymon is in, it cannot be at the detriment of the state. It cannot be at the detriment of Liberian people. And so from that time, February up to August 25th, I have been complaining, writing series of communication before the board decided to assemble. Minister Tuer came to the August 25th meeting with the intent to legitimize Mr. Smith as acting Director General of Legis. When the Legis Act before you is very clear that in the absence of the Director General, the Deputy Director General for Statistics and Data Processing shall act. In the absence of both the Director General and the Deputy Director General for Statistics and Data Processing, the Deputy for Information Coordination, which is the position Waymon Smith occupies, shall act. So it is clearly written in black and white, just like, for example, at the legislature. In the absence of the Speaker, the Deputy Speakers resume function. The Speaker has no authority to say while the Deputy Speaker is there that another person should act. It's illegal. It's wrong. But Minister Tuer is supporting Waymon Smith illegally and criminally because he knows exactly what both of them are involved into. And so I've not been having problem. So when they reinstated me as Census Project Coordinator, I wrote a technical note, and starting I've sent to you the technical note, and I sent you even a cover copy, you need to place it up. And you ask Honorable Larry Yanko and other people, they will tell you that I wrote a technical, the very first thing they did, they misled the president and told the president that everything was ready for census to be conducted on October 24th. Minister Tuer always have a way of engaging the partners and other people to write letters that are not in place. He always have a way of doing that. And so the partners, along with Minister Tuer, wrote a letter to the president informing the president that everything was set and that census would have gone on in October. And if that census didn't go in October, that the people would take the tablets that we brought from Ghana and I will have to pay $5 million for tablets and all those kinds of things they wrote in the communique, which is a complete trash. Because I was one of those who led the delegation from Liberia to negotiate for the 21,000 tablet and power bank we bought from Ghana. Ghana is not in need of the 21,000 tablet and power bank as we speak today, because Ghana purchased over 40,000 tablets and power banks. Ghana is going to be conducting only inter-census surveys until 10 years. 10 years from now, Ghana may not even need those tablets because technology might have improved, things might have advanced. I cannot even guarantee you that 10 years after that, those tablets will be useful. No. And Ghana is a sister country of ours. If we are able to talk to Ghana and say to Ghana that, look, we are having these challenges and constraints that the pilot census have revealed to us, and on the basis of that, we cannot have the census in October, but we have the census in November or in December or next year, Ghana will be more than gracious to grant all those wishes. But they went and lied to the president that everything was okay, no money was stolen, and that census was on course. And so I wrote the bill, and I wrote the legislature a technical note informing them that census was never on course and things was not okay. When we went to the legislature, the House invited us. The UNFPA team, along with Wilmer Smith, went there, along with me on the other side. And the UNFPA team and Wilmer Smith told the leadership of the House that everything was okay and that census was set for October 24th and that the legislature should pass a joint resolution. Because Article 39 of our Constitution clearly states that only the legislature has the sole authority to cause a census. And how does the legislature cause a census? Is through passing a joint resolution. And I spoke in that meeting, and you can call Honorable Larry Yankwa, he will authenticate what I said. You can call the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Fonati Kofa, if he's truthful. If he's truthful, he will tell you exactly what I said. And I told them that nothing was ready and that the legislature should not pass a joint resolution for October 24 because it will be a waste and that the census will not be held. After I spoke and the rest of my other colleagues spoke, these were the words of the Deputy Speaker, and I still have them in my Medulla Oblongata. And the Deputy Speaker told me that the UNFPA people, our international friends, and women and other people have told us that the census can be here. You alone cannot tell us, and we listen to you. So we'll go ahead. And they went ahead and they signed a joint resolution. Honorable Cordoba here apparently might have been a signatory to that resolution, or he might have heard, he can attest to that. They signed a joint resolution for the census to be conducted on October 24th. Less than a week to October 24th, my colleagues again went back to the legislature to tell the legislature that everything was not okay and that they wanted November 7th. I was in that meeting. And the Deputy Speaker got so angry in that meeting that he had to insult and walk out of the meeting. That the UNFPA and Wilmer Smith came to them and they lied to them that things were okay and indeed things were not okay, and now they are coming back to say things are not okay and they want to be extended to November 7th. Honorable Larry Yankwa was in that meeting. Honorable James Colette from Bon County was in that meeting. Honorable Francis Dopo was in that meeting. And many other lawmakers you can call will attest to that. When I even asked them to grant me the opportunity to explain to them the actual challenges the census were facing, and that even the November 7th that my colleagues were asking for was not feasible, no one gave me the floor. And that's why I'm very disappointed in Speaker Chimbo. Because when some of us were at the University of Liberia, we were very impressed about the behavior of Speaker Chimbo when he was then not a speaker. I remember the very first political struggle I took on the University of Liberia campus. Speaker Chimbo came to our defense when the police wanted to harass us. Today, Speaker Chimbo must look in the mirror and ask himself whether he is the same Speaker Chamber or if he's the same buffer chamber of yesterday. Because this is a buffer chamber and this is a speaker who I have personally and many other people sent to him the LACC report. That is why when Minister Tuer came here a few days ago and lied to the Liberian people that he did not receive the LACC report, I was astonished. Because on the very same September 29, I sent Minister Tuer a copy, a final report of the LACC report to all of the board members, including Minister Tuer. I even sent it as far as in his WhatsApp, and it changed green to indicate that Minister Tuer saw it. But this is a deceptive and pathological liar, Minister Tuer, who will come on the radio and inform the Liberian people that he is not aware about a particular content or communication or report is false. Minister Tuer told you people that in the meeting he called the Justice Minister to ask for the report, and the Justice Minister said he did not receive a copy of the report and so forth. Why didn't Minister Tuer call the LACC head? Who did the report? If Minister Tuer was genuine about that, that was since August 25th. He came on your show a few days ago, months after. Why didn't he call the LACC chairperson to ask the LACC chairperson where's the report if he's genuine and sincere? Minister Tuer was dilly-dallying and somersaulting here a few days ago and telling you at one point when started asking about a luscious 160,000, he said he didn't know and he was going to ask Wilmer. On the same show, when the CEO asked him whether Elisha was in the building here along with him, and he confirmed, and then he started to say that he had asked Wilmer. Wilmer said he gave the man money for PR and all those kind of things. That's nonsense. That's pure nonsense. And Minister Tuer must stop. I wonder why people don't understand every time there's an election or we are going to season, government salary and government employees cannot get a salary on time. Is Minister Tuer working for other entities or other groups? Is Minister Tuer an agent against this government? That only when festive season is reaching, election time is reaching, then civil servant and other people cannot get their pay? And Minister Tuer will come here and be jumboing and asking people dilly-dallying and all kinds of things, thinking he's providing some form of intellectualism. You cannot lie to the Liberian people. You must stop this. The old lady who goes to bed hungry every day, you cannot go and tell her that she's eating. And that is why my brother Keith, who have never been to Liberia since President Weah was elected, do not understand the struggle some of us went through in prison and other places. Sometimes I get also disappointed in him because he just blindly support the president and blindly support the government. And he must stop that. But to the issue at bay, Stanton, you are aware that I tendered in my letter of resignation since Saturday. On Thursday, a day before the census, Wilmer Smith called on OK FM and said that everything was ready. I called on the very OK FM and informed the Liberian people in the world at large that nothing was okay. Why did I say nothing was okay? I am an official statistician. I'm a member of the European Statistical Commission. I'm a member of the Global Network of Data Officer and Official Statistician. I'm not a child. I'm not a kid. This is my field. I know why we're talking. All around the world, before you conduct enumeration, you have to do what we call canvassing of the EA and household listing. And that has to be done a minimum 3 days before the counting, which is the day of the proclamation. Census in actuality is just 1 day. The reason why we say 10 days is because the very day that we do the census, there is a huge possibility that we may not meet Mr. John or Mr. Peter or whosoever at his or her residence. And so we have to do a follow-up, which we call callbacks. And because of that callbacks, we allot 9 days for that. But the actual day for census is just 1. It's just one. And in the entire sub-Saharan Africa and the world, you must do a minimum of 50% of the population on day one. I mean, I don't understand why Minister Twe, why Wilmer Smith, and other people who have no expertise, no knowledge in statistics and census will just go all over the place, misinform the president, lie to the Liberian people about census. They don't know it. And so, how can you be having census on Friday? You have not even completed training the enumerators. I can tell you there are places in Compound 3, in Gobley. I can tell you there are places in Yapata, in River Cess, and many other places where enumerators have not even completed their training. They have not even done the post-test. There was no final listing of supervisors and enumerators as of Thursday. People have not even received their certificate. You took people to training for 10 days, some 7 days, some 5 days. From in the morning to in the evening. You did not give them food. You did not give them water to drink. You put over 180 persons in a classroom meant for 40 persons. 8 persons you gave to one tablet. Some places people did not even see the tablet. How can you provide training in such an environment? I have a C certificate in education. When you do testing and methodology in instructional media, it's absolutely erroneous. Learning cannot occur in such an environment. You are doing digital census. We have 148 training centers. The government have over 1,000 plus schools, maybe even 3,000 the last time I checked. We place in the budget of the census $50 United States per day for hall rental for 10 days. We know fully well there's nowhere in Liberia that you rent hall for $50. But the reason we placed $50 in our budget was because we were going to maximize the utilization of government facilities. And so the intent of the $50 was not in actuality to rent, but to provide some form of subsidies for janitorial services, where these people will have tissue, toiletries, and other things. That was the essence. Wilmer Smith is not aware. He was not part of the crafting of this project document, but you gave him it to go and do. And so you mess the entire thing. And so you congest the area. You are having a digital census, people who are supposed to go count. Up to today, I can show you in the chat room. People don't even know their supervisor. People don't even know where they are assigned. As of today, we have the census dashboard that I work along with my colleagues, and we brought a specialist from Unica to set up Liberia census dashboard for the very first time. So you see real-time counting. As people are being counted, you see a real-time. I challenge my colleague tonight to publish the census dashboard. If you see one person who have been counted, no Liberian should trust me. Let them publish the census dashboard, because the census dashboard will show you real-time those who have been counted and where they have been counted. We introduce these things as a means of counter-checking the progress of the census when we should have resumed, so that we can know in area A or area X or area Y, this is the level of counting that has been done so far in SYC. And all these people and all these things were not in place. No setting fee, no contract. People are demonstrating all over the country, and you say you're having census, and you're telling people on Thursday that you're going to count the people on Friday, when you have not done the household listing, you have not canvassed the EA. How are you going to count the people? To count people, you have to do first the canvassing. That is, the enumerator must go to his assigned area to know that he's assigned in area A. He goes to area A, look at the boundaries of area A to determine where he's going to start and where he's going to end. That's canvassing. When he understands his assignment, the next thing he's going to do is he's going to do household listing and numbering of the structures. That is, he's going to make sure that each structure within his enumeration area has a unique number. And then he's going to determine also the number of household heads in his entire enumeration area. And we set Liberia census in such a way that the average household size for our enumeration area is between 80 households to 120 households. And the average household size for Liberia is 4.2 person per household size. That was revealed even by the household income and expenditure survey that we did in 2016. The pilot census, when we did it, also showcased that it has now increased just by a percentage point margin of 0.1. So the current average household size for Liberia is 4.3. So what that means is somebody has an enumeration area of 80, he's multiplying 80 times 4.3 or 120 times 4.3. And then we ran a regression analysis using para data to tell us how long it's going to take for this person to finish. It's a hard assignment. But women will never tell you this. Women went the last time on EIBC and said we'll use the census result for inflation. He does not understand what he's talking. Inflation is basically CPI, Consumer Price Index. That's general rising the price level. We do it on a monthly basis. Census is every 10 years. So we should wait for 10 years to tell the inflation rate in Liberia. That's insanity. He said we'll use it to do GDP. GDP is national account. We are currently using the SNA 2008 scheme of account. That's value added. It's basically gross domestic product. Productivity in a given economy for a given year or given period, we do it on a quarterly basis or semi-annually or annually basis. It's not related to census. But this is a man who did not even have the credibility to conduct the household food distribution SSI mapping phase for the country during the coronavirus. And I have documentation email in my possession and a written letter from the Director General Francis Ray that he wrote the book requesting women to resign because women is incompetent and women is corrupt. A woman could not give account of funding. I have that communication. Minister Tue has that communication in his possession. But Minister Tue cannot muster the courage to say, Mr. Smith, you are embarrassing this country, you are embarrassing the government, you don't know anything.
Let's take a break. Let's just take a few seconds and, give the guys a chance to, man, wow, Liberians.
So
I want us to come in a little bit, Alex.
Yeah, but let me conclude starting on this note.
Yeah, conclude on that line, please.
So you have my communication. I resigned Saturday. When I resigned Saturday, the government called me that the content of your communication is embarrassing. Please do not go out to the media. Do not leak it out to the media because we feel that you are working for opposition. It is against all. It will be embarrassing and all those kinds of things. James Botte of Voice of America interviewed me. I told Mr. Botte not to proceed with putting out the interview because I decided to respect it. Then I also sent to you, Stanton, a communication from the gender minister yesterday responding to my resignation. And I also sent you the email. Fine. I also sent you the email to show the date, the time, the hour that I resigned from government. How can I resign from government? You are appealing to me not to go public. But then you go on e-marshal and write and say you dismiss me. What kind of nonsense is that? And you lying to the president because the president is not God. The president don't know everything, and he's not expected to know everything. He rely on people like you, Minister Tue. And you allow the president to dismiss me when you know that I'm not a presidential appointee. You embarrass the presidency, Minister Tue. And this is not your first time. This is not your first time. I've come back to Liberia. I've received a lot of threats. People go to my house, they attack me. You send stooges, people are telling me all over the place. And I must say to Minister Kwe and the government, everybody today, I'm not afraid of anybody. I have only one life. And the day I'm supposed to die, I will die on that day. By whatever means I'm supposed to die, I will die. I am not afraid of people. You should stop telling me. You should stop sending your people to harm me. Because this country is not for you alone, Minister Twe. This country is for every one of us, and you will not run me out of this country. You will not run me out of this country. I must say this now to the international community and to the public that my life is at stake. And if anything happens to me, Minister Twe must be held liable. On many occasions, they are sending people to harm me and do all kinds of things. I am here and I am here. I am here and I am here. So, Stanton, that's the actual fact as to what has been happening. I resigned. You have my communication long before today, Stanton. I appeal to you not to even publish it because I wanted to respect them. I appeal to you not to publish it, but today you come back and tell me that you dismiss me. I'm a young man. I have my integrity at stake, my character. Mr. President, let me inform you that today I went to Legis. Today I was at Legis, Mr. President. I took all of my personal belongings, Mr. President. And tomorrow I'm turning in my vehicle and the laptop that I have in my possession for Legis in the government of Liberia. I'm far bigger than a deputy director general position. I have my life on the line. I have my country to serve. It is not about a position, it's about service. And maybe I stop here, Stanton.
You know what, Alex? Thank you very much. Thank you a lot. Listen. Damn. I wish we have more of you. I want to say, may God bless you. And thanks for the courage. This is great. Liberians in Liberia, outside of Liberia, listen to you. Yes, indeed. You told me, you said, Stanton, please do not share my letter of resignation. When you wrote the letter, when you spoke to them, you gave me all this information, and I respected you. Because that's what we do in this field, because we have to respect each other and trust each other. But what happened today when you told me, Mr. Stanton, I'm coming on, I just couldn't ask you to hold back, because this is bigger. So I'm going to bring in the guys. We're going to discuss the issue, what we heard from you. But let me ask you, before the rest of the team join in, Alex, sorry for everything you have gone through. Sorry for everything you have gone through. But today is day number 4. You resigned on the 12th. We got that letter. Today, the president said he fired you. Whatever the case may be, as you leave Legis, you're out. You're going to turn the vehicles and everything. Let me ask you, Alex, where are you leaving Legis and the Census?
I'm leaving Legis and the Census in a state of chaos, in tatter, in ruins. I'm leaving Legis in a situation that is very, very pitiful. Stanton, I'm going to say this again on record, that if you gave Wilmer Smith and the rest of the team at Legis even up to January 15 to continue counting, they will not count half of the population of this country. They will not count half of the population of this country. Why do I say so? On the day of proclamation is the D-Day. It's the day you are supposed to count not less than 50%. If you miss out on it, the rest of the days are for callback. The Liberian people are tired already. They know that it was a fiasco. Nobody went to them. Everywhere on Census Day. As we speak today, people are even looking still for where they are assigned. People are even asking and demanding for the sitting fee before they go on the field. Nothing happening anywhere, Stanton. So this census is going to be a census of uselessness. The data is going to be useless as the individuals conducting the census or heading the census are useless.
Wow.
There will be no reason and absolutely nothing you can do with this data. It is poor, and they must muster the courage to cut it off, because they are going to be wasting resources both from the partners, the donors, and the government. As I speak to you, for example, in Lofa, there is over 23% who did not go through the training. They have received more than $200 United States dollars, more 2 times what other people are receiving. People are receiving payment 2 times, 3 times. They did not participate in the training. They are not on the final listing, but they are receiving that money. So they just pay money to people who they don't even know. Even the final listing, they just put out again today, because every day they change it. You have, I can tell you, there are over 3,000 persons in that list who did not apply and who never started the training. That's simple Excel. That's simple Excel. So we are not prepared. We are not ready. This thing is shameful. Muster the courage, cut it off. Remove Wilmer Smith, Lawrence George, Francis Ray, who the LSCC have investigated and found guilty of corruption. Bring new people who have credibility, who know the subject matter. Let them preside over the institution and the census. Give Liberians a hope. Conduct new training. Pay those people who you owe. And let's have the census early next year. Because we cannot have the census anymore going forward in December, because the people are tired, they are frustrated. And during even December, the middle of December, we're going to festive season. If you go all around the world, it's not a good time to have census, because there will be huge migration trend, emigration and immigration. For Liberia instance, for example, we experience a lot of Decemberists. So you do not conduct census at the peak of migration. Because why? When you do census, beyond census, we do what we call extrapolation of the population. For example, if you go on the US Census Bureau website right now, you will see every second the population of America is changing. The reason the population of America is changing, because they are taking into consideration 2 major factors: natural increase and artificial increase. Natural increase, they look at birth and death. Artificial increase, they look at emigration and immigration. And so you use these 2 data sets to extrapolate the population. That is to project. Extrapolation means to project the population beyond census people period. They will use the left table. So if you have the census in December, the peak of December, what you're doing, you'll be having a wrong migration trend. So if you use such a migration trend for extrapolation of the population beyond the census period, it will be erroneous.
Let me ask you a question,
And
Alex.
we're born.
Alex, thank you very much. Let me ask you my second question. We can bring in the rest of the guys, though. Why, through it all, why you think Samuel D. Tweed Jr. refused to let go of Lawrence George and Wilmer Smith? Just briefly.
Stanton, I will appeal to you tomorrow to come on the show to show to the Liberian people bank statements, transfers, and where those bank statements, where those transfers are going, and how and why and how Minister Tweed is constrained and forced to protect Wilmer Smith and the rest of the other people. I will show you those things.
Wow.
You saw Eloshus Howard from the beginning, they were denying. It's not just Eloshus Howard alone who is with the minister who's receiving money from Legis. There are many other individuals. You will see transfer going to Ivory Coast. Who's in articles? Which account in articles are those resources going to? Minister Tua must tell the Liberian people. Minister Tua cannot be involved in himself in all kinds of criminal activities. He's a criminal. He is a certified career liar and criminal. He must tell the Liberian people where their money are going, because I will tell the Liberian people beginning tomorrow where their money are going. Minister Tua came here and lied to you people that he only sent $300,000 Liberian dollars to Lege's census account, and Lege's, nobody from Lege's management is the signatory to the census account. He does not even know where he's talking. I will show you checks. I will show you the check numbers. I will show you the date of deposit. I will show you withdrawals. Let Minister Tua tell the Liberian people they are lying. He said Lege's people are not signatory to the account. Go to Echo Bank today. Lawrence George is a signatory to the census account. Francis Ray is a signatory to the census account. Dominic Pay, who is the controller, is a signatory to the census account. Why is he lying to the Liberian people that Lege's management are not signatory to the census account? When the Director General, the Deputy Director General for Administration, the controller are signatory to the account. All the money that Samuel Tua sent, where to it go to that account? Except for the last money that he sent directly to the UNFPA when they were being pressurized in May. The rest of the other money goes to that account. More than $3 million United States dollars have gone to that account. More than 97 million Liberian dollars have gone to that account. What is he telling us?
Thank you. And I know for the folks that just joining us, we have G, Alex, and Williams. And again, as he said, we'll be doing part 2 tomorrow. Part 2 of revealing more checks, stubs, and checks information, bank information. We'll have the full discussion tomorrow. And Liberians need to know the truth, nothing but the truth. So help us, oh God. Let me bring in the representative is on the show. Yeke Koloba, you're going to ask 2 questions. We'll bring in Sentumani George Kef Hassan. Dr. Peabody will be back to ask this question. And then we will go to our sister, Dr. Richardson. Honorable Yeke.
Stanton, the first thing I want to ask, can we guarantee his safety for tonight? Can we guarantee his safety for tonight? If we cannot guarantee his safety for tonight, then I'd rather he go home.
We are working on it, Honorable Yeke. We are.
Yeah, please. Yeah. I will also like to be involved because we need to guarantee his safety for tonight, because what he revealing.
Check your cell phone. After you ask your question, check your cell phone.
Okay, what he revealing right now is too damaging to keep him vulnerable to the public. We cannot do that because he's very important to this process. What he's revealing right now, he's indicting a lot of people, and he's going to do more by evidence. So we have to be very careful. Woman, what your name, sir? Sorry. Look, so what you think the way forward now? Yeah, Alice, what you think the way forward now with getting the credible information that Melvin could have his chairlady husband David, one David as the chair of Leges in Bon County. We're getting information, credible information. Melvin could all protecting women paying others. Can you tell the Liberian people if the David guy is a chair for Leges in Bon County, that is the husband of Jebe Goulding?
So
David Goulding.
So let me say this to you. The information you gave me is 100% correct. And let me expound on it more.
Thank you.
The solar lights that is to Lege's head office, those solar lights were brought in by Melvin Cole. That is at Lege's office. And the reason Melvin Cole brought those solar lights to Lawrence George, remember now, Lawrence George and Wilmer Smith and Wilmer Smith, as well as Melvin Cole, are from the NPP. Lawrence George and Wilmer Smith worked with the Child State government at the Ministry of State. Lawrence George was Deputy Minister for Administration. Wilmer Smith was the one trading the gas slips and other things for Lawrence George. That's how they became partner in crime from way back, the Child State days. When Wilmer Smith was at the University of Liberia, was part of SUP, when the Student Unification Party would discuss in the meeting, Wilmer Smith would be the one leaking the information out to the regime at the time. So Stanton and that of Honorable Cordoba, all of the county statistic offices is under the Department of Statistics and Data Processing that I had. The director of Bond County passed out some time ago. I think it should be, yes, last year he died. And so that place, that position became vacant. I can confirm to you that the vice president had an interest in who gets that position. At the same time, Melvin Cole had interest in who gets the position. As his own way of ensuring that his interest was met, he went and brought in solar lights, paid some money to Lawrence George. Without consulting me as head of the county statistic offices, Lawrence George went ahead, wrote a communication along with the Director General, and they appointed the fellow you're talking about. I can also confirm to you in the office of Lawrence George, Melvin Cole has a friend of the opposite sex in that office. I can confirm to you that. I can also confirm to you the reason Melvin Cole was so angry when I went to the house that day and he decided to interrupt me was because Melvin Cole also knows about many other things that are going on, alleges that are illegal and criminal. So that is the way I would want to answer your question.
So my next question, can you also confirm to this, to the Liberian people that there are, I will give the listing to, it's being alleged from my source that some of the staff from Melvin Cole office are on the listing of the ladies in Bon County?
I will not know all of the staff in the office of Melvin Cole. And so if I can receive the list of those staff was in his office, I can compare that with what is on the bank statement that I have in my possession and will be in the best position to tell you whether they are or not.
Okay, thank you. I will send a listing. I'm trying to get a listing. I will send it to Stanton. Then he will call the listing. Then maybe you will confirm from there. Thank you. I raised my two questions.
I think it's you, Peabody. I know Stanton said.
Alex, let me first of all commend you for taking out this time, for being so passionate when it comes to religious and the work that you do, and for being brave to come up and say this. But let me ask you this question. I'm confused when it comes to the UNFPA and when it comes to the census. I'm confused with you and Minister Twer about the sanction. Minister Twer said the sanction was on. UNFPA issued a statement that sanction was on. Is that a legitimate statement that was issued by UNFPA that a sanction was on?
Let me say this to you, Dr. Peabody. If Dr. Barnett, who was the resident coordinator of UNFPA, was in Liberia today, the embarrassment we are having, we will never experience it. Because Minister Twer knows that Dr. Barnett will never allow Minister Twer to use his hand What Minister Tuer is doing to the new resident rep of UNFPA and the folks at UNFPA is very shameful and embarrassing. The UNFPA is a member of what we call the RCCC for the 2020 round of censuses. RCCC is the International Coordinating Committee on Censuses for the 2020 round of censuses. The 2020 round of censuses runs from 2015 to 2024. So the RCCC has 3 members. That is the United Nations Statistics Division, the US Census Bureau, and the UNFPA. Either of the 3 institutions can provide technical and logistical assistance to any country to conduct the census. For example, in Malawi, in 2018, Malawi census was being provided technical assistance by the US Census Bureau. And that is why when I took over the census,
Okay. To some internet, there are difficulty, but you asked a good question, Dr. P. But a very, very good question. And today I was in conversation with someone who asked the same question. Like, listen, why would the UNFPA say that this is good? And they were on course. But now I don't want to give my answer that I received, but we'll wait for Alex to explain to Librarians.net exactly what's happening with the latest group and UNFPA. Then people will make their own conclusion. We are reconnecting with the studio. To bring Alex back on. But let me hear from you. Continue since you asked your first question.
Yeah, you know,
What do you make of everything he just said?
Well, I would say firstly, he's a very smart young man. He has a wealth of knowledge. He knows about the in and out of religious, and he knows a lot. I mean, I'm just kind of confused because now, I mean, I cannot discredit anything he's saying here because I don't work for this. I don't know, but he worked there. He been there. He been working with them. But he said, like for example, he wanted to do an interview, and he said he holding it back. Why would you hold something like that back? And now you didn't do it. Now you got fired, stuff like that. But I want to know if the UNFPA came up and said, look, we are on course. The census is going on. The Finance Ministry came out and said census is going on. So now, who do we listen to? You know, who's saying? I mean, I'm not discrediting him at all. He's a very smart guy. I mean, he knows what he's saying. So I'm just confused by that. I don't know what's going on. You know, that's all. Welcome, Mariah. Good to see you. That glasses look very, very nice on your face. Very good. That's all.
Thank you, Dr. Peabody. How you guys doing?
Good. You know, so
Thank
that's.
And I'm very self-conscious about these glasses. They're new and I feel different, but I have to protect my eyes. It's getting bad.
Well, we've been there for a long time. I've been there for a long time. So
I know.
you know,
I feel weird.
right. But you know, I mean, that dude has a wealth of knowledge. I mean,
I've been following. I was following on my way home, and I tell people we cannot continue to sideline expertise. We cannot continue to sideline professionals. We cannot continue to sideline people who know their stuff. There's no substitute for knowledge. When you go to school for these things, when you train for these things, when work the years in these, fields, you know your stuff. And so when someone is speaking about their career, about the area of expertise, you can see it, you can know it. But unfortunately, this government has pretty much dumped down on experience and expertise and qualifications, so much so that it's refreshing when you finally get to hear someone talk about something to know what they're talking about, right? And I think tonight everybody is like, wow, Alex knows his stuff. But that's what expertise is. That's what experience is. If you've done something for so long, if you studied it, if you have experience in it, you know your stuff. You know what to do. You know what is going wrong. You know what needs to be done. And it's sad when you're in a system where people just appoint a bunch of stooges and political, you know, airheads or whatever to just control things that you know requires experience and technical knowledge and qualification in this field. So I think it was very refreshing hearing him talk about the census and exactly what's wrong and what's going wrong. And I'm hoping they can fix the internet to continue the conversation. But I just also wanted to say I'm sorry for coming late. I had to be at my sister's birthday, and definitely look forward to wishing her a happy birthday at the end of the show, Attorney Sadia Williams. And you know, I couldn't miss that. She's my oldest friend. We've been friends for 30 years since we were 3 years old. So I had to be there. But I'm hoping Alex can come back and we can continue the conversation.
No. Well, I think there's Brother Richardson to give it back to you, or Kev, or somebody else who wanted to chime in on this issue.
I think I went to Peabody. Did it go? I mean, Timberland, did it go to you? I know Stinton had left an order before he left.
Well, after listening to Mr. Smith, I think the best that can come out of this is that um, if the president who set up an independent commission look into what he said, because he, like everybody said, he has lots of understanding about of religious, and he was paid, his school fee was paid by the Liberian government to go and get more training and education in this field. And he made some startling revelations tonight, and uh, like we don't know the nitty gritty of what's been happening there, like to go, but he came up tonight and said everything. So now, in order to corroborate his comments and so forth, and the president, I think he should just launch an investigation into Legis so that they can find out what happened at Legis and so forth. And, because uh, when things of this nature happen, it's good to always investigate, to go to the bottom of it and find what's happening, so that, because I can tell you,
Sister Tony, I'm
the
sorry. I'm
national.
sorry. Somebody, let me interrupt you. It's important. I'm sorry. I will give you guys the chance that those of you that have not asked question, just one question each, because we really have to wrap this thing up. We will start the show 3:30 tomorrow with Alex. We pray that wherever he may be, we will be bringing him on from wherever he may be tomorrow. But let me give you guys real quick, not too long. Just ask you one powerful question, because as it is right now, you understand it's 11 o'clock in Liberia, and we have to wrap this thing up because of Alex. Please. So that everybody, you ask your question. Dr. Richardson, you go, please.
Alex, do you think that the president fire you after you give your resignation to cover up the corruption, the ills that are in the government? And do you think that this is a pattern of this government to just cover up corruption by keeping their friends and firing people who speak out? Unmute yourself, please.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead. You're good.
Is it okay?
Yes, you're good.
You know, the last time I came on this show, you asked me about the president. You asked me about the Minister of Finance. And I thought at that stage I would be diplomatic. But I will answer you raw tonight. That the president has all of the evidence, pieces of evidence, long ago, I WhatsApp everything to the president. The president have seen everything.
Wow.
I said that, for instance, the generator was an old generator and I did not pass through the PPCC process. The president is aware. The PPCC director or head was being forced to write a communication that she was aware. At the end of this, the lady said no. She wrote to the LCC that she was not aware about the procurement or purchasing of that old generator. The document is there. The president is also aware. The president is aware that the over almost 200,000 that went for the procurement or shipment of the tablet and power bank from Ghana, the account the money went to, and that it was not correct and did not pass through the PPCC process, the president is aware because he has all of that in his WhatsApp. So if the president is aware about all these things for several months and has not taken action, the president also, when the LCC released the report, he said he ain't on a desk. He said he can't take action on mere allegation. But if you read the LCC report, page 1, you will see that in that report that these people were given due process along with myself. In
Alex,
fact, every one of them had a lawyer.
Alex, please. We will continue tomorrow. Okay.
Yes,
It's
please.
after 11. All right. Just stay put. Make it very short because I know what I'm asking you. In the next 10 minutes, we must wrap up. Just 10 minutes, please. Allow Mariah, Timberland, George, and Kev to join me with a one fast question because we must wrap up. I beg you.
Okay, so to answer your question, that Francia, the president is aware about all these things. When Minister McGill and other people were sanctioned by the US, who did not even have due process, the president immediately suspended them. But if our own anti-graft institution, who gave these people due process, and the president is aware and have seen the report, cannot muster the courage to suspend them or ask the board, because the rest of the people are appointed by the board. If the board cannot even suspend them before even talking about the president, then we're not serious to fight corruption.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Not serious to fight corruption.
Thank you very much, Alex. Kev, real quick, your one question, please.
Okay, Alex, I listened to you. You're saying a lot of that stuff here. Some of the stuff that you are saying is something that you said the last time on what you said the last time is different from what you're saying now.
Give me
Especially
one example.
The last time you said if the president know all these things, the president will take action. That's what you said the last time.
You said
you actually here on this platform, and you said the man that I know, the president, if he know what's going on, he will take action. You said it on this platform, and today you're changing your statement and saying the president aware. True, what's
because
up?
I have evidence to show that I have now submitted it to the president after that show.
China. But you
Okay, Alex, wait. Alex, Kev, wait. Kev, wait. Kev, hold on. Kev, hold on 1 minute. Alex, please wait. Kev, finish up your question. Please make it short because you're about to go. Probably will not even go to the rest of the guys for the question. So please make your question short.
I just want to make that clear.
Yes, so go to your question now. Go to your question, please.
But let me ask you this. What's your relationship with Honorable Larry Yankwe?
Thank you. Larry Yankwe and my mother are from the same town in Nima, and this is the question people keep asking. He's my uncle, so he's talking. Larry Yankwe is a professional demographer, and population scientist who have served as chief census technical advisor in many other countries working with the UN and working with the Ministry of Planning. So he knows my professional background. And so, yes, he and my mother are from the same town in Nima called Gipo. And I'm
So you
proud
talk
to
about
associate with
honesty and
him.
make
Thank
some
you very much.
recommendations,
Thank you
right?
very much, Kev. Thank you, Kev. Sentuman and Joshua, one question quick, because this gentleman, he have to leave and leave now. So I'm not trying to interrupt
Alex,
anybody, but I want to fill you guys real quick, please.
Alex, why you think the president is acting at this time? Why you think he had to act at this time?
Now, let me tell you what I was told, for which I did not count. I was told that the president was embarrassed. In fact, I was there. The president sent a recording from BBC on this very census issue, and he was very angry. And that he said that I challenged his authority to have gone on the radio on Thursday to say the census was not feasible on Friday when he had already issued a proclamation. And so I needed to go. So that's the basis. It's not about whether who steal or who not steal or who drink red, who not red. It's about who are challenging who authority. And I did not challenge the
Thank
president
you.
authority. I only said what was right.
Thank you,
And
Alex.
time has shown that what I said was right, that indeed the census was not feasible for Friday. It has shown to us.
Thank you very much, Alex. Mariah.
I think I'll waive my questions to allow Alex to get home safely at this
Thank
point.
you. Fagon, thank you for joining us, but you've been following the show. Your one pointed question to Alex. You're
My dear
muted.
brother, that brother life is important at this point. He needs to leave and leave now.
Thank you very much, Honorable Fagon. Alex, again, just stay put. I'm going to get off and talk to you. All right. Dr. Richardson, can you take care of the show? Just stay put. We want to say thank you very much. You are there with the other folks, and we want to say we hope to see you again tomorrow. Let's get you off and let's the show continue. Dr. Richardson, please take care, please.
Yeah, so we're just gonna go back to reflecting on what we heard so far from Alex and the last person who spoke. Actually, can we start with you, Mariah? Can you just go, and then we'll go to Kev Hassan, and then we'll go to Minister Fagon and also to Timal, and then just give us your reflection on what you heard about the census that is happening in our country.
Correct. Thank you. I think it's disappointing. Well, I guess Librarians can say who appointed you before you disappointed, right? But I think it's embarrassing for the country for us to be having, these issues around the census. This has been going on for months. They've postponed the census several times, and to think that we're still having these issues, why it's now ongoing. I understand enumerators were out today, but listening to Alex just tells you that this is all for a show, and we're not going to get the output that we need from the census, and the whole purpose of the census, is not going to be met. And I think the statement today about the president dismissing Wilmot and Alex, giving Alex's revelation that he had resigned since the 12th, that the president is now dismissing him, that's very deceptive, because resignation and dismissal are two different things. If someone has already resigned, why are you dismissing them? And that clearly shows that either the president is not aware, the president is aware and is being deceptive to the Liberian people, that he's dismissing this guy when he knows that the guy has already resigned, and that there's clearly nobody in charge here. What Alex has explained tonight shows that we're in a big mess. And my question I would have asked him was, given all that he knows about the census process, what does he think can be done to rectify it at this point for us to move on as a country? Because we do need the data. What can be done to ensure that we have the accurate and appropriate data? But again, his safety is first, and I hope he can get home safely tonight and he find another time where he's in a safer location. Because once you're at the studio, everybody knows you're at Spoon. and to know the location. So I'm glad he's going to be able to get home safely tonight. And when he's back on the show another time, I would like for him to give his expert opinions on what can the government do at this point to ensure that the census goes on credibly, because we need the data. We need to know how many persons are in the country, how many first-time voters, whether we have new districts, we counted, or whether we got to close certain districts because they don't meet the population limit for to be an electoral district. All of these things have to be done before we even get into voters registration. And voters registration is December 15th. Supposedly it's supposed to start December 15th, even though we've not found the form yet to do the biometrics. That's a whole different conversation. But it just seems that there's nothing that is being done properly under this government. And Alex's appearance tonight has revealed a
It's
lot.
damaging.
Yeah, more
It's
than
above.
what we know.
You said the other day on autopilot, but I think we in the Titanic right
We're
now.
crashing.
I know more autopilot. And I want to say you for going. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thanks to you guys that follow Spoon greatly. You listen to Alex. Something pure indictment. Maybe LCC wasn't enough. Maybe he said, "Damn LCC, you guys were too professional." But what I have in my possession, you talk about emails, text messages, voice recording. You are the former Deputy Minister of Information under this government, for the sake of God. When a man have text recording, text messages, he have voice recording, he had emails and every communication to every government official in high places, lawmakers. And if we begin to release this information, I want to give you the chance to speak. And I want to give you the chance to speak on what you just heard today from Fagon. From Alex, because we will release this information. Because we love Liberia, not any friendship, not any buyer, not any non-buy, that my brother, that my sister know. It's because of Liberia. We do this thing every damn day. Fagon, talk to your folks tonight.
Oh, thank you. And let me greet my fellow panelists, especially share my agape love for Anthony Mariah Yakula. You can see we're wearing the same glasses, except that she's wearing the female version. We're very high fashion people. Just look at my glasses and look at hers. It's almost identical. I love this girl to death. She's my heartstring on the show. Don't care what anybody says. That's my
Stop the
statement. and I'm sticking
pandering,
to it.
Eugene. Get to the issue.
I love you, Mariah. I don't care what you say. That's my love. That's my statement, and I'm sticking to it. But I'm happy that he got out of the studio, because I was, those of us that are in the information business, I started receiving messages and calls like, tell a guy to get out of the studio, because some unscrupulous elements who are fanatics, political fanatics, and partisans, some of our very own party, had begun to throw threats at the individual, which is unbearable and unacceptable. And some of them will make good on those threats if they're not stopped. But Stanton, I want to warn them that Nimba County does not play with his sons and daughters. That guy sitting in the studio is not an ordinary man to Nimba. And whoever draws first blood must be ready for it. Having said that, we were here yesterday, Stanton. We talked about the same thing. First day of the census nothing. We're here today. You're just hearing these revelations. But allow me to speak directly to the president for 45 seconds. Mr. President, once again, we are at the point where you've looked at one of your soldiers who had given up everything for you, his life, his family, and everything. And one of the problems I have always had with Mr. President, if people go to him and say things about Tomali, And knowing that Tourmaline is his boy from way back, ate with him, held his bag, did everything with him, he will never call Tourmaline and say, Tourmaline, come here. They posted so and so and so. What do you say? He could have called Alex and said to Alex, what is it I'm hearing? What did you do? What happened? Why did you do it? As a big brother, Alex has been with CDC forever. Today, whether he was right or wrong is another debate. But the leader he served and sacrificed for did not give him the opportunity to speak. Whether it was D. Maxwell Sakimia or Eugene Nangbe or whoever, another sedition goes down without being given the opportunity to defend himself to the leader. Thank you for giving me that point. Now, in 15 seconds, Stanton, I told you I was going to shred the statement for the partners. The truth of the matter is, if you go back to the tape, I said the president was misled. If you issued a proclamation, it means everybody will stay home. It means you're ready. But you issued the proclamation when people had not gotten paid. They did not have tablets. They were not willing to work. They did not know where they were going to work. And so here we are, day 3. You and I talked about it yesterday. The major factor that this brother laid down to you, Stanton, is the festive season. December's already start rolling in. People are going out to buy their goods. People are moving about for the holidays. You and I know this whole census will have an issue, and it could be rejected because you, Stanton, Mariah, all of us, we read that the partner said it should meet what? International standards. Let's sit on this panel tonight and ask ourselves, will our census meet international standards? If the answer is yes, then let's help. If the answer is no, then I say all of you should join me in calling on the president not to stop the census, but wisdom, suspend it. Suspend it for either February or January 15th, when everything is over and everybody's settled. More time to train the people, more time to pay them, more time to get settled and get ready. Right now, if we force it, I'm sorry, but I'm appealing to the president. Suspend the census. Even if it's for 2 weeks, suspend it, man. It's not going according to plan. 2 persons out. Look at that now. 2 persons out. Where are we? Where's the leadership? I respectfully submit on that note.
Thank you very much, Eugene. Again, we can announce.
And again, let me stress, suspend the census temporarily, either for 3 or 4 weeks. Just suspend it temporarily.
Thank you very much. We can announce that all is well. All is well with our guest. We can announce that, and we move on. We hope to see him again tomorrow for part 2. We want you to join Spoon tomorrow. What we're going to reveal to you checks that were issues in ministers and directors' names. Checks, stubs that were issues in ministers and directors' name. It is important. I'm not just doing this because I want to, but I have to do it because of Liberia. I have no fish to fry in any political party, not one. So all I do every day is just because we all want Liberia to be better. We want the best of our country. And what was revealed today,
As you put your head on the pillow tonight, just think about Liberia. Why are we where we are? Why? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself. It's 11:20 in Liberia. It's 6:20 here in the United States. We ask you to join us again. Join us again, please, tomorrow. It will be powerful. It will shock you. Forget census. It's done. Whether you do it or not, it won't be accurate. Like our brother Fago said, just push it to next year.
Yes.
It won't be accurate. It won't meet international standard. What I have in my possession is a disgrace to this leadership. Sometimes I wonder whether President George Manneh really want to be reelected, or whether some other folks are pushing him to. We'll have that conversation tomorrow. And remember my question, whether he really want this thing, he really want the people to re-elect him, or whether some other folks are just pushing him to. We couldn't discuss the ambassador announcement that came out today, Ambassador McCarthy. It is important that we find time tomorrow and discuss it. He's tripling down and also telling folks, I'm reminding you, anyone that do business with those that have been placed on sanctions will have themselves to blame. I'm reminding you. We'll be back tomorrow, folks. We'll do our best to help Liberia, directly or indirectly. Everybody have 1 minute to close. I have done mine. So let's start with Honorable Fagon Did Hayes. We'll go to Kev Hassan, Simtumon and George, Mariah, and Dr. Chinwe will take us home. Dr. Richardson, excuse me. Go ahead, Kev.
I thought we learned a lesson. 1989. I thought we learned a lesson. I really disappointed with the amount of misleading information to show that our country, people out there hunting people to kill them, just like probably in Ukraine. I think it's shameful. I thought we learned our lesson. Alex, this is not his first time coming on the show and saying things. He walk around in Liberia freely. This government don't have any record of targeting people. Mariah Yakula, the chief of staff, live in Monrovia of Mr. Cummings, live in Monrovia, walking around, have a tip, dancing, going around.
Kev, you need to shut up. You don't know my security.
Mariah gave him chance.
Mariah,
Mariah,
no. Don't use that as an excuse. I have a security assigned with me.
Mariah,
I have a driver.
Mariah, you close. You will come in. Give him
I do
chance.
not go out at night alone. You do not know my security.
Mariah, hold on. Mariah gave him chance. You will come in. Do not interrupt him. He got
Don't
only
use
1
that as an
minute.
excuse. Find another example.
He got only 1 minute. You must give him chance to speak.
What is wrong with you?
All right, just give the brother a chance. Let me
You have to.
God, Mariah, you're not speaking. Mariah, stop. Give Kev a chance to speak. You're gonna have your time. Come on, Kev, make your point.
Nonsense.
So come on the show and pretend like they're gonna kill somebody. Well, Alex lived in Monrovia as Mariah Yakula. Dr. Richardson went there. She was around. She went to the Investable Park. They have pictures. They have fun. Nobody to pretend to send a wrong signal to the international community that this government hunting people, I think is misleading. I think it's evil. I think we should learn our lesson because it reminds us. Fagon, you know that when we were
Thank you,
growing
Kev.
up, we
Kev,
had
within
this
1 minute, please.
you
Let
know
make this
that,
happen.
but this
So,
is what being
so thank you, Kev.
portrayed tonight. I think it's wrong. I
Yes,
think
thank
it's
you.
misleading.
Your 1 minute is up, Kev.
But she
Thank
took
you.
some of my time.
Kev, Kev,
She
your
took
1
my
minute,
time.
Kev,
I need
your
to
1 minute is
retrieve
up.
some of my time.
Thank you.
I
Thank
need
you.
to.
Thank you. Timothy George, can you please? Everybody got to have 1 minute, man. Look at the time.
Yeah, but
It's
she.
going
I
to
think
12.
I need to retrieve my time.
It's okay. It's okay.
No,
Come
it's
back
not
tomorrow.
okay.
Yeah, you spoke already. You passed 2 minutes already. So Timothy
No,
George,
no,
please.
no. I need to retrieve some of my.
Timothy George, please. Please speak, Timothy.
First, Brother Smith, wherever the situation is, I pray that all is well with him wherever he is, and
You said Williams, not Smith.
Mr. Williams.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, he made some startling revelations, and we hope we can hear from the Liberian government. We can hear from because he personally attacked the finance minister and chairman of the board of villages. We hope we can hear a response from the minister of finance and the board chairman of villages on allegations it was made against him. The attack was made against him. Uh, we heard Mr. Williams' story and his side of the story, what's happening. He must have a lot of information. But we hope the Minister of Finance can respond and concerning what was said today about him and even the government of Liberia. With that in mind, the census is very important. We are about to go into a very important elections, and the census would have helped us a lot in especially during the registration process. But we pray and hope that they will find a remedy to have this to conduct this session, and so the Liberian people can be counted and be part of that national information. But just to end, I want you guys to keep my kids and the mom in prayers today. Their grandmother's body arrived in Liberia from Ghana, and it was a sad thing to see the kids crying. But it was very sad, and it's been a very emotional day for a lot of us. We just pray that Mrs. Phyllis Guma Kima soul rest in peace, and as her body arrived today in Liberia, we pray that she'll have a peaceful homegoing on December 3rd in Liberia. Please keep them in
Thank you.
prayers. It's emotional for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Timothy George, and also you too. Thanks a lot. Mubarak.
Thank you, Stanton. First of all, let me just state that, Kev, I'm not your example of security in Liberia. If anything,
Yes,
I'm
you
an
are.
example of
You ain't got to
insecurity.
throw like cars grade.
We are not
do
going to
not
do this
know
tonight.
what my
Kev,
security
Mubarak, hold on
situation
one
Club
is.
minute.
with cars grade. The man kill you. 3 a.m. You are at the club with cars grade. He kill you, but you portraying like somebody.
Kev, let it be so.
Come on, man. But you
Let
were
it be
hanging
so.
out with cars grade. Why
Kev,
you saying you not you kill me?
Kev, let it be so. You got to give the lady
that.
chance to speak.
No,
Kev,
it's wrong.
yeah, but give her a chance to speak. Stop,
It's
please,
wrong.
please. She got to speak. Mubarak, please continue.
Thank you. First things first, Princess Copa didn't have the opportunity to be out at 3 a.m. She was killed in the broad daylight in a crowded ELWA area. The auditors, the 4 auditors whose death your government cannot account for, were not at 3 a.m. in the morning. The 2 auditors who were found on Broad Street in the morning, it wasn't at 3 a.m. Matthew Innes from Central Bank, you say he crossed the road 1 o'clock in the morning when he got out of his car to go cross the road to go where God knows. You still have not accounted for that. The insecurity in this country, the Tobert family member who was killed in his own home. To this day, you have not accounted for his death. There are several other examples of Liberians who've lost their lives under this government that this government has not accounted for. Do not use me as an example, Kev. I do not stay at my house because of insecurity. I have a security assigned to me. I have a driver. I do not go out alone. When I'm out, I have almost 3 or 4 persons around me. There's no way to live in your country, but I will not stay home as though I'm in prison. At the end of the day, This is not about Mariah Yakula. You don't know my security situation. You don't know the fact that my little sister, who was here, was asked when Josh Ria went to District 10 and she went to pick up food from her cousin's place and had to walk down the road because there was no way to go with the car. Somebody asked her, "You Mariah Yakula's sister?" She had to deny me and said, "No, I don't know who that is." Because anything could have happened to her at that moment while Ria was in District 10. That very day, she came home and said, "I had to deny you today because somebody, I don't know from anywhere, asked me if I'm Mariah Yakula's sister." You don't know my security situation. You don't know the measures that have been put into place to protect me and my son and my family. So you will not come on the show and use me as an example. And the thing I will tell you, to the next time you try that, Kev, the very next time you use me as an example,
So let's move
What will
on.
you do?
Mariah, let the on the
What
topic.
will you
the very
do?
next time
What will
you
you
use
do?
me as an example
You
of
still
security,
you
let-
allow me not
you will not
to
like my
nonsense.
response.
What will
You
you
came
do?
to this country for
You
a few
so-
weeks and
then
you
you
were
were
holed
coming. What
up.
will you
You
do?
were holed up in
Then
a
you were
hotel
coming.
in a presidential suite.
Mariah,
Then you were coming.
Mariah,
The
that's okay.
security
That's
that
enough.
Stanton had to pay
All
thousands of dollars
What
for
the
to
hell
protect
you were
you.
coming to me?
To protect you. You were holed
Mariah,
up in a hotel.
Mariah, that's
In
enough.
one
Let's
of the
move on to this
5-star
issue of
hotels.
allegiance.
Stanton, let me end.
Yeah, let's
You
move on to
kept,
the issue of allegiance. It's
you
enough
as
of
a
being personal.
government propagandist was holed up in a hotel in a presidential suite with security guards that Stanton had to pay thousands of dollars for because you did not believe that you are secure in Liberia. Your security, you believe, was at risk, and you want to use me as an example of Liberia being safe. Behave yourself to them, please.
Thank you, Mariah. Dr. Richardson, please.
So I want to first begin by saying that the failure of this government to provide security for Liberians is what we call wrong, cruel, coward, and unconstitutional. And Mariah narrated all of the people that security was not provided for. So let's get that clear. Even though Mr. Pagon said that it may not have been the government who is after Alex, but people who
Thank
like the
you.
government,
Thank you.
who believe in the doctrine of the government, might go after Alex or Spoon TV media. So that's the point that we're trying to make. It may not be the government for who's going over after anybody. It's people who support their doctrine and have no way of reasoning, no thinking. Okay, so let's get that clear. Secondly, my reflection about what Alex said. He said that the government is in terror. He said he pitied this government. Legis is in chaos. That's what he said. And for me, this is a pattern of incompetency. This is a pattern of incompetency. I listed the last time to you all of the things that we have seen this government do that show us that they cannot govern. They have no way of practicing or engaging or maintaining good governance in our country. And so, Liberians, you have to do something about this. We can't no longer sit and let our country go down the drain. This is where it's going, down the drain. It is painful to me. It is sad to me because I am a Liberian. When I go out there and have to represent Liberia, people be asking to see this. They read the news. I work in an academic setting where the news is all over the place. They ask me about Liberia. If we can't discuss Liberia and a common thing like the census, we cannot do. It's so hard and painful for me. But I just ask Liberia, like I said the last time, vote them out. You have a constitutional responsibility as Liberian citizens to choose who you want to govern you. You can either choose somebody that we have now who don't know how to do the job, or you can look, read, learn, and choose somebody who can do the job and begin to move our country to the path that we know that we can bring ourselves to. So thank you for the show, and it was a learning experience today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Since we have Honorable Cordova back, Honorable, can you do your closing, please?
Dr. Richardson very well. Dr. Richardson, let me tell you that the government is after Ellis. The fact that the president declared holiday for the census to be held, and the president said that, or he feel within himself, his declaration, it is coming on the national radio to say we are not ready for the census, it's a challenge. He feel within himself it's a challenge to him. So the government is after Alex. The president is after Alex. I don't know how people want to take it to be, but this president being a dictator, a strong dictator, for Alex to do what he did, the right thing, he did the right thing, and the presidency as a challenge. So the government is after Alex. And anything should happen to Alex, the president will be responsible for it.
Thank you very much, folks. That's where you have it. We want to say thanks to that.
My man, you just left me hanging.
I beg you, brother. Go ahead. Go ahead, my brother. You said that you like Mariah. I thought that you're closing for us to go home. But you won't come by now, then go ahead.
Listen, I'd like to scold.
The man he said like, he said love.
Oh, love.
Yes.
Okay.
The man on loan to ANC. ANC loan. The man on ANC loan. Loan to ANC.
But if Mariah carried me, I would be scared. That means I would be scared. But listen, I once called my brother and my fellow partisan. I've always told Kev, you have to empathize with people. And I'm happy that Dr. Francine re-echoed what I said, that it might not be the government. I have lived in politics. I saw what happened to Harry Greaves. I saw what happened to Michael Allison. Fast forward to my government time. I saw what happened to the party headquarters with 102. Kev, you know about that. I know what happened to Walter Sisulu. And my government indicted our COP partisans. So some of our partisans don't take lightly to their party being ruffled. And we see that. I have given you an example with the situation with Walter Sisulu and that of 102, our own deputy police director. What I was trying to say, and I want Kev to always empathize with people because you don't know what death tastes like, Kev. This brother said, oh, I'm threatened. As seditious, we should empathize with him. We should care about his safety because we don't even know whether the ANC people won't go kill the man in the studio and then leave it on the government. You don't know that. So long he says, I don't feel safe, it's our responsibility as a government and as a party to ensure that this gentleman is safe and secure. And that's why I yield them my time. I say, get out of there, go, because we know anything can happen, be safe. But I would like to say on this note, there's no record to say the government killed this person. But we've seen too many deaths of people who were not sick or in the hospital. They were either dropping from a balcony or dying in a vehicle or having an accident or falling on their face in the pool of blood. And everything pointed, government should investigate, government should investigate. I know how it feels like, but I don't know how it feels like to die. But I will say this, and I will advise the president with real love from my heart. There is absolutely nothing wrong with saying, listen, man, I'm going to suspend the census and let's settle everything. I want the international partners to make sure we're ready. My dear brother, I know Liberians. Representative Colbert knows Liberians. If we do the right thing, the right PR, the right jingles, everything just right, Liberians have been suffering for 200 years. 1 day of 12 to 14 hours will not kill them. They will sit down to be counted, no matter what day it is. But as it stands right now, I'm not listening to Alex. I know in my spirit that we're not ready because I'm talking to people. And this president cannot afford going to elections to have our census disqualified. That will hinder the basis for a free and fair elections owing to the numbers and the political arena where you have redistricting. So I'm appealing to him to use his wisdom and say, whoa, 7 days suspension, put everything together, get back to me. Or 14 days suspension. Let's do the right thing. Thank you for the opportunity, Stanton.
As always, we want to say thank you, Minister Fagon. Representative Koluba, thank you a lot. Kev Hassan, we appreciate you. Santumale George, as always, our peace and love to your family through these difficult days, and we wish them well. And to the Yakula, thank you for joining us again, Dr. Chinwe. And yet and still, Dr. Peabody, who left because of children obligation, Ben Sanvi, and all of those folks that join us every day to make this a wonderful program. We appreciate you all. Let's meet again tomorrow. Alex William will be in studio part 2 of Legis, and we will be showing you check stub payments to ministers, directors, and folks. And remember, Alex, the president, is aware of all these things, and he received information via text on some of the things that you don't know. But the question remains, why was the president quiet? Why? Let's discuss it tomorrow. Join us, part 2 of Legis, day number 5. Alex Williams in the house. Thank you. Have a good evening. God bless.
Good night, everyone.